Well, Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. My voice ain't woke up this morning, Leonard. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of the Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you today, as I hope and I pray that we always do. This is Black Friday. Now, the name of it is Black Friday, but you know that if you're black, white, orange, polka dot, lily, or striped, you can call in and be a part of the conversation. We don't separate or divide. So give us a call in and whatever's on your heart. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it in its entirety. In its entirety. That's what we're going to do. Now, I'm not important. I'm just a question asker. I'm just a question asker. My name is Raheem out of Atlanta over here on this side of Atlanta by way of, let me see, let me do this shout out for Greensboro, North Carolina. Greensboro, if you're woke, give me a call. Say something to me. Let me know you're listening. But this is my brother from another mother, but we got the same father. This is Captain Leonard. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem and the Morning Glow family.
Good deal, good deal. It should be there, Leonard.
I didn't see the share.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it should be there. I check it out and make sure though. But then what's on your agenda, man? Today is Friday. The weekend is upon us. It ain't coming. It's upon us. So what's
Mm.
on your weekend? What you got going on this weekend?
I usually always plan to enjoy the weekend. Well,
Hmm.
on actually Sunday is my wedding anniversary,
Oh,
so
go ahead
I'm
now.
pretty sure there'll be things to do.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How many years, Leonard?
Be 24.
Man, look at here. Look at here. Boy,
Hmm.
look at here. Leonard, I gotta ask you a question, man. In,
Hmm.
in, in, in all seriousness, Leonard, I'm gonna ask you a question in all seriousness. How in the world did she put up with you that long?
Oh, I'm an extremely nice guy. I am. Anybody will tell you that.
Okay. All right. Look, that's your story. You gonna stick
I
with it?
know.
Okay.
I'm serious. I don't make a lot of fuss about nothing. I try to be as nice as possible.
Okay. You're a nice, easygoing fella.
The majority of the time, yes.
Okay. Okay. So that means okay. Hey. I know that side of you, but some of the people that's listening, don't know if they're gonna agree with that. There
Well,
now.
they shouldn't. They shouldn't because
Mm-hmm.
they don't know me.
Yeah, but like I said, I know that side. I certainly know that side, man. We've been knowing each other for a long time, so I certainly know this. I know this side very well. But some of these folks that's listening, who he talking about? He talking about him?
I don't know what they're basing their opinion on.
Okay, I got you. I do understand. Ibrahim, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning and peace and blessings with the Most High.
There you go. There you go. Ibrahim, we talking about the weekend. You know, the weekend is upon us, man. As a matter of fact, this is the first day of July, man. This month is 6 months. 6 months of this year is already gone. 6 months of this year is already gone. We in the seventh month. But Ibrahim, what's going on with you this weekend, brother?
Well, we got a big family reunion. The Sims, the Gates, and the Norwoods, and whosoever.
Mm-hmm.
We having a camp out this weekend down there
Okay.
in Griffin. One of the Gates has a Ray. He has a farm, horses, naming animals and stuff. And he's got enough land. We're gonna camp out. Some people gonna bring their RVs. I'm gonna bring a couple of tents, and we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna cook out and act the food all weekend.
There you
You know,
go. Well,
celebration of the family.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna bring my fishing pole. I know you got a fishing pond out there. I'm gonna bring
Oh
my
yeah,
fishing pole.
yeah. Some water out there somewhere you can fish at. They got
He said
all kind
somewhere.
of water moccasins things.
Hey, Leonard, he didn't say we got specifically. He said some water out there somewhere. You know, we'll find
Oh
some
yeah,
water
yeah. It's out there in
somewhere.
the country. This is Georgia, man. All you gotta do is throw a chunk of rock, and you're gonna find a lake or a stream or a river or something.
Somewhere. Exactly. Um, I want to talk to y'all about something, man. And this has been circulating for the last I would say 2 weeks. It may have been a little longer than that. I'm actually gonna try to play the video. I don't know why Ibrahim gonna get on the screen and eat like that, man. We ain't got nothing to eat, but this brother gonna get on the screen and just eat in front of us, man.
Y'all been eat. Yeah, y'all healthy looking. Y'all know y'all eat. Don't do me like
We healthy looking, Leonard.
that.
We not healthy. We healthy looking. But I want to talk to y'all about now. Ibrahim, I know you.
Terrible feedback. Terrible
Yeah,
feedback.
it's
Right?
feedback. It's That's on Ibrahim line. He got this speaker going
Mhm.
on. I try to get him to put some headphones on so we ain't got to do that. But one of the days I'm gonna get Ibrahim to put some headphones on. And we're gonna eliminate that background noise. One of the good days he gonna do that for us. But Ibrahim has told a part of his story and about how things happen in some of his past relationships. But this situation going on about this little girl, not I can't say little girl, woman, and the man, she called her boyfriend, said that her son needed something to eat. He bought the son something to eat, but he only bought for his son. She got three other siblings. There's three other siblings in the house, but he only bought food for his son. And she said she made a big fuss about it, man, to the point she argued and got the video. Said, I'm going to expose him before when he pulled up. She said, well, y'all watch this. I'm going to expose him. And she acted a donkey, man. She acted a real donkey. Did so much. She did so many different things, man, in regards to that. And hopefully, okay, I'm reading something. But she acted a real donkey, man, and to the point where she took the food and say that because of the fact that you didn't bring any food for all four of my kids, not just your one son, she threw the food on through the McDonald's on the ground, threw the drink on the ground. And he asked, why did you do that? And she said, because you trifling, you this, you that, you this. How you going to bring something for just your child? And he asked the question. He said, well, where's their daddy? Where they daddy at? And so my question, Leonard, is he obligated? Is he obligated to buy for his child? Is he trifling for not buying for all four of the children? What's your stance on that? How do you see this, Leonard?
I feel sorry for him. And then again, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe, it's the way it's presented is the entertaining way,
Mm-hmm.
but then there's the deeper implications on culture. So I go to where it affects and how it combines with the culture.
Mm-hmm.
This culture of a woman, because I've tried to stop using the B word.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Don't use the B word, brother. Don't.
Behaves this way.
Mm-hmm.
It's a culture issue,
Mm-hmm.
and it comes from the way these children are being brought into the world by the type of people that are bringing them into the world.
Mm-hmm.
She was already like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my mother used to warn us boys
Wow.
about.
Let me jump in, man. This is good, Leonard, because she said that she said something to the effect, and we got Rico here with us as well. As a matter of fact, Rico, he knows a lot about this topic. We're gonna go to him too. But he said, those are not my kids, blah blah blah. And she said, well, when you got with me, what you was getting into.
Exactly.
You knew what you was getting into. Go ahead, Leonard. Take it from there,
And
bro.
that's my exact point.
Mm-hmm.
My mother told me, don't let these rats ruin your life.
Mm.
Because there are some people out there that behave just like rats.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we used to call these type of folks that do this in our culture.
Mm-hmm.
They go and make babies and we have no responsibility. And they live to put that responsibility on someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Their
So
goal is to do that.
So Leonard, was he right or wrong for not buying for the other three
He,
kids?
he to me, it was no, it's not about right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have an obligation nor responsibility to
Mm-hmm.
do so. But she was
Mm-hmm.
trying to put that on him.
Wow.
Because of how irresponsible she has been.
Mm-hmm.
And he was even more irresponsible for sowing his seed in that type of soil.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna tell you something, Ibrahim. I'm gonna tell you what happened. I saw the video before, but I didn't really see the video. I saw it, but I did it in passing. And Rico and I had a conversation a few days ago, and he asked me about it, and I said, yeah, well, I seen it. I didn't look at it, but I seen it. And because my viewpoint was, I'm not gonna bring food for one child and not bring them for all the children. And he enlightened me, say, look here, right here, you could be setting yourself up, man. He actually enlightened me on that. And then he sent the video to me, and I watched the video again and I saw how she presented herself. Ibrahim, let me ask you the question, man. Is he should he take some kind of responsibility? Now he do have a child with a young lady, but she got 3 other children. Should he take some kind of responsibility to feeding them children as well? Oh, hold on. Are you muted, brother? I think something going on with your feed there, brother. Go out and come back in, Ibrahim. Go out and come back in. Rico, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Man, I can't complain, man. Welcome to a beautiful new day, man.
Hey, welcome to you as well. Rico, we said we was going to talk about this today, brother. What's on your heart, man? Is she right? She wrong? He right? He's wrong? How does this whole thing line up with you?
Well, it's a lot of wrong in how they got together and the situation became what it is, but now it exists.
Mm-hmm.
So to just look at that situation for how it went down, first off, I thought it was staged. Like Leonard said, it's sort of entertainment based, seemed like it's entertainment based. I felt the same thing. I was like, man, this looks sort of staged.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was staged, they did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen situations exactly like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so what disturbed me from the very beginning is that all the attention went to him.
Yes.
And he really did nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing he did wrong was what she thought he did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody addressed her action. It was all about, should he have done this or should he have done that? And so there were so many different ways she could have handled that, you know. And I noticed the lack of humility, or the lack of really the desire to get her children fed, because there was another way to handle that if she really wanted to get them fed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then to see that those children probably saw that food go on the ground.
Mm.
So whatever story she could come back and tell them children, they belly's gonna tell them another story, and they belly's gonna say, Mama had the food in her hand. I thought she was fixing to bring it in the house. I could almost taste that cheeseburger and no fries.
Mm-hmm.
And she threw it on the ground. Hey, y'all, Mama crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna give y'all some. But everybody went to thinking about, if he would have ate in front of them children was gonna have animosity for him because his daddy did for him and their daddy don't do for them. So that man should have bought that food.
Mm.
No. Did you hear the whole video? She mismanaging her food stamps.
Yep. I saw.
What about that?
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of things that nobody questioned about her. Then she came back and made a second video to try to clear it up and then deleted it.
Mm-hmm.
Tried to justify what she did with really and truly. A man can be convinced. You know what I'm saying? I mean, women convince men to trick men all the time. She probably didn't act like that when he first got with her, so I ain't gonna even start on this, what he put his thing in.
Mm-hmm.
Because she could have stolen and told a whole bunch of lies. You know, sometimes women poke holes in coming.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean, so
yeah.
you never know. But the thing is they ended up in that situation, and now that's what he got to deal with. And in the process of those children being hungry, see, I always look at the most innocent or the people that lose the most out of that. I looked at that through the children's eyes. And now, when most women looked at it through the children's eyes and said the children going to have something against that other child for eating in front of them. Well, he said, let them come to my car. That wasn't even cool enough. So now that is, she has no humility, no sense of cooperation, no sense of communication. Then she didn't want to solve the problem. She wanted to go viral if it wasn't staged.
Exactly.
But then the last part of it was, to me, was that if she had the wits to convince him or trick him into getting with her and pressing him, you know how sometimes women woo us. She could have wooed him with the same charm. She could have lied and said, hey, your son wanted to share with his siblings. Can you bring them something else to eat?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
She could have put, if you're going to lie and be low down, lie and get the child to get him to bring something else and split that little food up 4 ways.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't want to feed them. She wanted to go viral. That's why the food ended up on the ground. And that was the biggest travesty of that video.
Exactly.
That food was on the ground.
Okay. Hold on for a second, Rico. We got a couple other people that's on the phone line here. I definitely want to hear their input. Ibrahim, what do you say? What do you say to that? Who's right or who's wrong? If there is a right or wrong.
No right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I feel compassion.
Mm-hmm.
you know, for a young lady. She seemed like she was in a desperate situation, right? And so she was just acting out, you know, because she was in a desperate situation. And she depended on the wrong person. You know, she tried to put all that weight for somebody to share it with, you know. So I look at the human aspect of it. I don't think that he was responsible for the mother's children. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't believe that in my heart. But you know, like he should have known that when he brought that food over there, he has other kids. You know, so I'm not faulting him, but you know, you should have known.
What about the
And
question?
you
What
know,
about the question, Ibrahim, that he asked? He asked a question, and I think it's a very good question. He said,
mhm,
"What about their dad?" I mean,
yeah,
they have dads as well. So
yeah,
what about the why could she call me for my
mm,
son? She called him,
mm,
bring some. She and I wish I could have heard how that conversation went. Did
mm,
she say bring it
mm.
for your son is hungry, blah blah blah, bring or bring them something? How that conversation? How was the question asked? And so that was
Well,
Sean. Go ahead.
my situation was different. I married a woman with 3 boys, and we
Mm-hmm.
had a girl between us. So it was a couple of years before we even had a child between us.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, their dads wasn't there. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And what could I say? I even took them personally to meet their fathers. You know, I hate to say it, but hey, that was the situation. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I took them to meet their different fathers, and you know, and I tried to have a relationship with my daughter and my son. I still have a relationship with one of my stepsons, and more so than I have with my daughter. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so, but it is what it is. You know, I mean, like, but that's different. He didn't marry the woman to move into the situation. If he
Mm-hmm.
had, then he was responsible for them kids. I think every black man is responsible for every black child. You know,
Wow.
should be have some type of responsibility for every black child to
Mm-hmm.
pitch in. When a man absent, it should, you know, should be some man that takes from himself to step in.
Mhm.
I'm like that. I'm still like that now, irregardless of these children are mine or not. You
Mhm.
know, that's the way my daddy presented himself to other people's children.
But Ibrahim, I commend you, and that's a great stance, and you're honorable fellow for doing it and thinking that way. But what about responsibility? What about responsibility? Because, like I say, the father of them children should hold some kind of responsibility too. You can't, because you and I got together and we made a child. And I'm certainly I'm not talking about you and me, Ibrahim, but me and this young lady get together and we have a child, because maybe she got 2 or 3 other children at that time. Am I supposed to, just because she and I got together, am I supposed to take whole responsibility for the whole household and mine,
Nope.
or how does this thing, what happened to, did dad have no responsibility at all? None? Zero?
No, they're part of responsibility, just like he has responsibility. But you know, if it was brought to me and I knew she had them other kids and my kid was hungry, I'd have tried to bring enough for all of them. Or I
Mm-hmm.
would have brought something to cook. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then let the onus be on her. You know what I mean? Because I know my kid is an environment, and that's like, to me, that'd be setting your child up, and they right. But for her to come out there and call them out like that, I think it showed that, you know, so she showed herself as ugly, irresponsible, and you know, just a hot mess.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are other men, and that's not the first time I've heard or seen something like that, right? Women will even we can tell a guy that she see one guy know he's responsible, and then go marry another guy and tell him that's his baby. That ain't even his child,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But she
Mm-hmm.
knows you're gonna provide for that child, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right or wrong? That's history. That's one of the oldest games in the planet Earth between human beings, you know,
Mhm.
man and woman.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so what can you say? But I think she showed herself out and told on herself. But I think that as an adult, if that was my situation, I would have brought something for all the kids to eat.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so that would have negated that. But her mouth gonna be the same. She would have been the same, at the same food. You didn't bring enough. How come you didn't bring this? They got to eat all week. But I'd have brought enough for to make sure that all of them gonna eat.
And she could have very well, to your point, asked, okay, you bought all this food, but what the dessert? What the dessert? They ain't got no dessert.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, stop playing. Stop playing. Mr. Hicks, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, girls. Doing fine. I just joined the conversation. I'm gonna listen a little longer to find out exactly what's happening.
Okay, let me give you the base of what it is. There was a video that's going on, Ms. Hicks. I don't know if you had the opportunity to see it, but the young lady, she called her son's dad to bring some food over to the house. He went by McDonald's, bought a bag of food over there. She videoing from the time he pulled up. He bought a bag of food and a large drink. He had a supersized drink in his hand. Went up to the door. She went out there. She met him, and she just bombarded him with insults. How you gonna bring this food over here to just your son? You know, I got 3 other kids as well. Blase blah. She went in on it. Mr. Hicks, she went in.
Wow.
Yeah. Now how you gonna? And she got so deep into this thing, man. She like I said, like Rico said, try to go viral and all kind of stuff, man. She belittled him, talking about how you gonna bring food just for your son, and we got all the other kids over here, blah 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 blah. It went back and forth to the point that she took the food. She said, okay, give me the food, and she threw the food on the ground. She threw the food on the ground, the food and the drinks on the ground. And he asked, well, why did you do that? He made a point. He said, well, look at here, you know, because she's saying, you know, why, how you gonna bring just for one child? He got siblings. There's other siblings in the house. You need to feed everybody. Is it his responsibility, Mr. Hicks, to feed another man's child? Or was he right, or was he justified in just bringing something for his son? And was she right or wrong in her whole stance?
Oh, she's definitely wrong. I think it's wrong to air those kind of things publicly anyway, even before they had social media. Just tell them, just expose them to anybody else what's going on in your family. But an awkward situation. I know me, I would have bought for everybody. It's just how I roll.
Okay.
But I could understand he's not responsible. It'd be a good act to do it, but he's not responsible. That's how I feel. But I want to listen to other people's take on it. It's interesting talk.
Okay, good deal, and definitely good to have you, brother. Let's go back to the phone. Now we got Dr. Cook. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing well here.
I'm doing well. Dr. Cook, have you been listening this morning?
Somewhat.
Okay, we're talking about the young lady, that video where, you know, she acted out. She acted bad, Dr. Cook. She acted bad. And that's just me. You may have a different stance on it, but she called her son's dad to bring some food. He did. Bought McDonald's, supersized orders, a big drink in his hand, everything. But she talked to him so badly. How could you just bring it for just your son? I got 3 other kids in this house. You should have bought for all 4 of the kids. And she got so bad and so deep into this whole conversation, she took the food from him and threw the food on the ground, food and the drinks on the ground. He asked the question, he said, why are you acting like this? You know, what about their dad? They got, your other 3 kids got dads too. So, Dr. Cook, in a situation like that, who's right, who's wrong? And I'm glad that you're here, because I definitely want to hear a female's perspective as well. But who's right and who's wrong in this situation? Was he right, and was he justified in just bringing for his child, or should he have bought it for all 4 of them?
He was right. I'm saying most fathers, basically they're going to think about their children, and I don't think it was his responsibility to bring food for the other children, but you know, most men, if you know that there are other children there, would bring food for the other children, because children don't understand that. She could have asked him. Let him know that I have other children here. If you bring them some food, I would reimburse you for them. He didn't have to get out of order in that manner. And some women think that it's okay to get out of order. No, always maintain your character. He is not responsible for the other children. But for me as a parent, if the shoe was on the other foot, I would have asked if there are other children there in the home. And I would have, basically, because of the way my heart is, I would have brought children for the other food for the other children. That's just how I am. But everybody doesn't think that way, and everybody doesn't have to think that way. But she was totally out of character for her behavior.
Absolutely. And good morning, Rudolph. Good morning. Good to have you with us this morning. Got quite a few people. I can't call all your name. I do apologize, but I'm definitely glad that you all are here. And if you want to be a part of the conversation, you're more than welcome. Give us a call, 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Let me ask you this question. And even if he took the good guy approach and he bought food for all the kids, how often is she going to expect for that to happen? Is he digging a hole for himself?
Well, I don't know that, I don't add to a lot of things, but whatever their situation is, it's out of order. And any man involved should want something better. So it's like I said about men taking responsibility for their lives. He needs to get that in order. And it could be one of those curses for the behavior. See, when you don't proceed and do things right, a lot of mess seems to follow.
Yeah.
So hopefully he will be able to manage that situation better the next time. But the real issue is the fact is that he allowed himself to fall into that lifestyle.
I wonder, Rico, what would have happened had he said, you know what? I wanted to see my son today anyway. I wanted to hang out with him a little bit. Won't you get him dressed and let me come pick him up?
She still would have found a way to manipulate him and then trying to get that food, but she would have tried to dictate it from him. See, sometimes you have to get compassion from a person, and you have to find a way to get that compassion from them. Now, in this situation, like I said, I could easily refer to how I have done things in the past, because I've bought people food before, other people's children, maybe my son got some siblings I bought for them. Matter of fact, he called me a couple of months ago and asked me to send him some money to order a piece for him and his sisters and brothers that were born after him. And I had the same question: what about their daddies? Their daddies get to see them, but she hired 9 from me. But I still had that compassion, So but sometimes people burn the bridges, and you have to find a way to build that compassion. So I took 2 things away from this. First off, my first reaction was disappointment because everybody flipped the onus on him. Was he wrong or was he right? I'm like, wait a minute, that ain't the biggest issue. Because the biggest issue was those children were still hungry by the time everything was said and done. If their stomachs touching their back, regardless of who we point the finger at, the stomachs were still touching their back. If that is a real video, if that was a real scenario. But the thing is, that happens in real life. I've seen it. Like I said, I've seen it numerous times. I'm like, man, why did she do that? Because I look at it from the child's perspective. So I'm disappointed in the fact that everybody, see, this goes to show you unconsciously the type of persecution that a man, and most times a black man, goes through. The expectation we have just to be expected to do what somebody expects us to do.
Wow.
We obligated to do this and obligated to do that. But then the second end of it is it shows that somehow people don't know how to have conflict resolution. Because the biggest issue was the children being hungry. So if she was that mad about them children's stomach touching their backs, she could have used charm, because she charmed them to even get a baby bound. Oh, you knew what you were getting into? No, I don't think you was throwing food and slanging and cussing like this when you first got me to say, let me get some of that. I think you might have said something totally different and acted a whole different way. I didn't know what I was getting into, because I definitely wouldn't have signed up for you to have me bringing food over here to feed somebody that you say hungry, and then you throw it in the road while they sitting there still hungry. So, I noticed that very few people address that end of it. So in the conflict resolution end, if you're going to ask any question besides the narrative that somebody else chose to make you think of, see, that's how media works. They dictate the narrative and everybody just go along with it. Was he wrong? Was he wrong? Was he wrong? Was he wrong? Man, screw him. He ain't got nothing to do with this. She didn't ever even ask one of his questions. What was wrong was, did those children eat? That was the question should have been. Absolutely. Did those children ever eat? Because that's what I thought. And when I saw that those children didn't eat, and I knew that they were going to still be hungry, the question should have been, how could she have handled that better to make sure she could at least get him some more food, since he was the only one that bought some?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And you work from there. That's she didn't know conflict resolution, and that's an indictment on society. It's a mental illness to a certain extent. It's a behavior that we need to address, and many of our sisters need to address that, because them black girls don't rock, and them black girls ain't magic.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good deal. Let me go to our Tucson. And there's a lot of things going on with this whole scenario. And like Rico said, man, if it's real or if it was staged, I kind of hope it was staged, because I hope that no one is really going to act like that and leave their children in a situation such as that. But Tucson, good morning. How you doing this morning?
This morning.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me try to be serious about this matter. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just want to know your heart on this whole situation, this whole scenario. What do you think about it, man? Is who win in a situation? Who won? Did anybody win?
They all losers, and they causing their children to be losers. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Now listen. This is just me looking at the situation. First of all, why you put your business out there? That's the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
Briefly. Second thing, you look pretty good. Your hair fixed, your nails done, you got your makeup on, your eyelashes is long, they about 2 inches long. You talking about a McDonald's meal? Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Really? You mean to tell me you gonna put yourself out like that for somebody to share your story and put like, and now your story that cross all across America, and your kids still hungry? Get the hell out of here.
Hey. Mm-hmm. Dr. Cook, what's
Hey, Donald, hold on. Hey, Donald, the stamp still ain't came yet. So what you gonna do between now and then? The 7th and 11th is a long way from now.
I'm sorry, and I'm not supposed to say that. I mean, some people gonna say, "Well, Rev, we're gonna rebuke you in the name of Jesus for that."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, you go right ahead. Let's see how that works out for you. But the problem is that we want to be famous, but we don't want to fix problems that we have in our community. You nappy-headed. I'm sorry. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that.
No,
because her hair wasn't nappy. You noticed that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You understand that?
Yes.
She looked pretty. I said it again. She looked pretty good. Now your kid's hungry. You're talking about a meal from McDonald's. When you get you some grits, and you get you some eggs, and you get you some whatever else you want to do. You get your tail in that kitchen, and you fix your children something to eat. You don't cook.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about what your baby daddy didn't do.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Tucson, tell us how you really feel.
We are in a sad society
mm-hmm.
that worry about a bunch of nothing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then I know I'm out of time, but then we anybody ask for the cash app to help out the situation? If you can't help, what we talking about?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. Dr. Cook, what's on your heart?
I agree completely with Mr. Tucson.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I just when I saw that and I started watching a little bit more, I just turned it off because I dislike when women act in that behavior in that way.
Mm-hmm.
I always stayed away from that because I don't want to act in that manner. It's just a low character for women to act in that manner.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. And when I start hearing women talk like that, because I'm around women that talk like that sometimes, I just leave the room because I don't like hearing it. It just, berates us. It just puts us down. I don't like being around it. I don't. And I don't deal with women that act in that way.
Okay.
I try to help.
How do you think they, Dr. Cook, let me ask you this question because you being who you are, you certainly are qualified to answer this question for me. How did they get there?
How did they get there? I think it's children learn what they see. television has something to do with it, but children learn what they see in the home, see around in their community, and if their parents don't require more of them, if their parents are acting in that way, children are going to act the same way their parents act. Now, some children may not want to because it may appear to be embarrassing to them, but most of the time, children do what they see.
Wow.
And I've seen it in my classroom, and I've seen it firsthand with the parents. So most times, children they act upon what they see and what they're learning from home and in their environment and from the television.
Wow. Mr. Hicks, what do you say to that? Because they're not in a good place right now. They're not in a good place. So how do you think they got there?
Well, there's been a design since early times, I guess. After slavery destroyed the success we were making family-wise and economic-wise, I think that I don't know. I'm speechless. You know, because I see this. I know what you're talking about. You know, I walk. How's this? I was married 30 years with problems that marriages always have. But you know, when you're married a long time and you go through midnight crisis with a man and same thing for the woman, and she want to change her life, she want to change the things around. So I was trying. It was a good wife though. I mean, I understood the pressures of having a baby 10 years after the other baby and all the other kids out of the house. We got one left over that was unprepared for. You know, I mean, one of those kind of things where the tubes are tied, they're burned, and she starts her life over and then find out she's pregnant, and it's real stress thing. She just got stressful, wanted to leave, and so I acquiesced. You know, she filed for divorce, and I signed the papers, which in retrospect, I shouldn't have. 14 years later, I marry another woman, beautiful woman, nice personality, and all the other stuff that go with it. But it was that thing of how she talked to men, and over, I told her I'm just not that kind of guy. And ultimately, with all the other things of political differences and all that stuff, but I can't. I don't know what it is. Always, I can't have a woman disrespected me. I always felt that the attitude I grew up was that I was raised by my father to be a husband and to be in charge. But my father reacted a different way to disrespect. What he considered disrespect, that put a blend between him. But I understood it as I grew older. You know, I've grown and learned, but you just couldn't talk to me any kind of way. Anybody, police, anything. And it was a bad position to be in. But it's a dire situation we're in. All I can say is that it's an individual kind of development thing. You got to learn from your experience and learn from people around you, and really try to find the signs and not get involved. I mean, I was naive. 30 years married, I didn't have any idea what women's thinking was, that they were gold dealers. My first wife was a Muslim, so she had a basic kind of foundation we had of what our roles were that was firm. And I think, but even having those things, there can always be those issues. And the man just got to rise. His position, more is required for him. That's my personal belief. More is required for the man. My father used to say a thing to me. He said, "It mean what you say and say what you mean." A man got to do what he says he's going to do. Woman, she's got a right to change her mind.
Yeah, exactly. Let me go to Ibrahim. Ibrahim, was she disrespectful?
Yes. And you know what? It's good to hear Mr. Hicks, because we came up kind of the same way, kind of same environment. Yeah, she was very disrespectful. But hey, like, she got the right to, everybody got a right to act a fool. But sometimes we have to be an adult. And I use the word adult rather than man and woman, as y'all understand, because somebody had to be an adult in the room. The kids had nothing to do with their relationship or lack of relationship, or their mother's responsibility or his responsibility, right? The children needed help. You know what I mean? That's why when they talk about mothers got welfare, they ignore the fact that there are kids there. There are children there that are suffering. You know, she might have beautiful hair on her head. She might have a nail done. I paid $200 for her hair. You know, maybe $50, $60 for pedicure and, you know, nails and stuff like that. And the kids are hungry, but they ain't got, you know, they have something to do with her, but the kids are hungry. So how do we
Mm-hmm.
address that issue? How can we address that issue, society, right? So we put the onus on her, put pressure on her to make sure she take care of the kids when she do all that, you know.
But see, the most of the people, Ibrahim, and to Rico's point, most of the people was really bashing him. He should have
Yeah.
went out there. He should have did this, and he should have did that, and he
hmm
hold
hmm
on. And I said about responsibility earlier. They both have like I was talking about the dad's responsibility. She got a responsibility too.
Right, right. She got responsibility to feed them kids. That's her responsibility. She's the primary responsible person supposed to be for them kids, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's so we're not raising adults, we're raising children. You
Mm-hmm.
talk to a person like that and the child out there in the business, acting a fool and everything. Well, like other children do that. You gotta let her be a child, you know, instead of raising what she's gonna be the rest of her life, hopefully an adult.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So you try to raise them to be adult and not infringe upon that the child would be learning rather than just acting belligerent and wild as hell. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Hey,
Mm-hmm.
hey, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
Exactly.
but that's the way I think about it. I tried to I had a big fight with my first wife. I was married to, had three boys. I was trying to help them be adults and responsible adults. Most of them took hold to it. But you know, she never could wrap her brain. They're still her baby. They still her baby. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And it's disturbing the way you see the outcome of things like that. You know what how they react and act in life. They still got their hands out. They expect
Mm-hmm.
somebody to hand them something. They expect somebody to cuddle them. They expect somebody to approve of their behavior, whether the behavior is good or bad. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's their behavior. So, but it's about being an adult. And I don't want to lay responsibility on anybody, but both of them, she was responsible ultimately for the care of her children. She had them. You know, if she don't want to have them, you can send them to adoption. Please don't put them in the system, but make sure they have to get adopted or whatever. You know, walk away. You know, give away your responsibility or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But acting
Mm-hmm.
a fool like that, that's bad for the kids. The kids gonna see that, and if they got girls out there, they gonna grow up the same way. Mama told him that look, he didn't feed her at home. He brought food to him, and I'm older than him. Whatever. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I mean,
30
that has
seconds.
so
30
toxic,
seconds, Ibrahim.
so
Mm-hmm.
toxic. I'm done. I'm done.
Okay. Good deal. Good deal. Badger, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Have you seen the video we're talking about?
No,
Okay.
but I've heard y'all talk about it enough this morning.
Okay. Well, go ahead. What's on your heart?
Um, to me, it honestly sounds like a woman that was acting out for whatever reason or whatever issue she needs to work on.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you're asking about responsibility, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, woman does have a responsibility to be the best that she could be. I don't per se agree with expecting one man to take care of all of them without at least letting them know,
Mm-hmm.
or giving, like, if you call and only ask for him to bring food for his child, that's probably what he's just going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
the part that really bothers me about everything is if I actually had a chance to talk to that guy, I would already have, like, eventually I'll watch the video here in a minute to get but how do you word that? I put a lot of weight on the man for that situation,
Mm-hmm.
because to me, if all he's doing is just bringing some food over and maybe a little bit of money, like child support or whatever, I don't I have an issue with a so-called man
Mm-hmm.
who is seeing the woman act like that, knowing that she has other children. Why isn't he, like, fighting to get custody of his child to take to get the kid away from that kind of toxic environment.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know exactly where you was going with that, but you wrapped it up for me. You tied it together at the end, so I do understand where you are now. So that's a good thing, and maybe he should consider that. And I also I said early in the conversation.
Maybe he is. Maybe he is, and we just don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't like everybody gonna go into every detail on a short video. Well, hey y'all, I'm going to court to get custody. That wasn't part of the conversation. So now we're assuming that he ain't doing that.
Okay.
We got to stick to it. Can you put the video in the link? Put the link in the you put the link in the chat group?
Well, I was looking for it because I was just looking for it because I was gonna play it, but I couldn't find it. I know you had sent it to me, but I can't for whatever reason I can't find it right now. So send it back to me again, because I was actually just looking. Yeah, I was just actually looking for it. But yeah, but maybe he is. You never know, man. Maybe that's an option, because I said earlier that I was talking earlier about something similar to that. That maybe he should do this or he should do that, or he should just tell her that I wanted to hang out with my son today anyway. So still get him dressed and I'm gonna come and pick him up. But see, that still does not eliminate the fact that you still got 3 hungry kids in the household. Captain, good morning. How you doing this morning?
I'm fine. Thank you for asking. How's everybody?
Hey, doing good, doing good.
Great.
We're talking about the video. We're talking about the video where the young lady called her son's dad to bring him food over because he was hungry. And she started videoing the thing from the start. She did a narrative. Watch when he get it. Watch what he gonna do. Here you go. Watch this. Watch, he only gonna have 1 bag. And he did. He got out the car. He had 1 bag. He had a McDonald's bag and a supersized drink. And she went in on him, Captain. She went in on this man. How you gonna bring just 1 meal here? I got 3 other kids. I got 4 kids here, but you only gonna bring something for your child. How are you gonna do that? And she went so far, man. She got so bad with this thing. She eventually got the food and threw the food on the ground. Just threw the food on the ground. Captain, what do you hear in this situation? What is really going on?
Well, we've been watching that for about a week now. That's been probably one of the greatest topics on social media. I knew we was eventually gonna get around to it. There's no question that it produces a lot of controversy based upon the fact that his attitude was that he only have obligation with his child. Figure them other children have their baby daddies and they should step up to the plate and handle their business. There's a lot of men that think like that, However, if you're any kind of man, you do not neglect other hungry children and just take care of your own. It's 6 one way and half a dozen the other. As Brother Rico and Brother Badger said, we don't know if the man is getting custody, so he don't have to go through that. I think it's unfair that the mother, who already knew the mindset that she was videotaping him, because evidently this is not the first time he did it. If you videotaping him, then evidently this must be something he done before. You don't have no clue on why he chose not to bring something to the other children. It could have been many variables in that. It could have been that he may know the other children's baby's dad, and he's not taking care of the children for their trifling behind. Or he just a brother who just sincerely felt that I'm just gonna take care of mine. I could not do it. I think at least I have been in a step child relationship. There's no question about that. And I cannot see myself not bringing something to the rest of them. Evidently, he does not have a rapport with the rest of those children, because ain't no way your child could be in a home and he's got siblings, step siblings, and you don't know who they are and you don't have no rapport. It's almost as difficult to come by the house and take him to the amusement park and leave the other ones. But is that unfair? I don't think it's unfair, that if you tell me I got a day with my son, this is the son, this is the time I come and spend time with my son or have custody with my son. I come, okay, Junior, I'm coming by now. We're gonna go to Six Flags. Be ready.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
And then she go push the other 3 children out. Well, take them too. I think that's unfair. You know, I mean, he may not have the money. He just want to spend his time with his child. But then again, so it's 6 one way, half a dozen other. Would I do it? No, I wouldn't do it. I would definitely bring something for the rest of the children, but I would know the rest of the children enough to have that rapport. But is he wrong? Is he wrong? No, he's not wrong for taking care of his own obligation. He just may be not politically correct and feeding others. That's my opinion.
Now, let me ask you this question, because I can agree with a lot of what you just said, but if he were to do this and he said, well, look here, okay, my son is hungry, but, you know, give me 4 of them, give me 4 of them Happy Meals and give me 4 of them drinks and 4 of them blase, 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 and you take it over to the house and he drop it off. How many times is he going to have to do that? Because the way my grandmother always told me, the way you end is the way you begin. And so once he started, she's going to expect it. And if he don't, if for whatever reason one day he don't, maybe his money's a little short and he can't do it, she gonna act a donkey, because she gonna take any opportunity that she can to act a donkey. So, Captain, what do you say to that, man? Is he digging a hole for himself?
Well, no, I think she plays a role in playing the differences. I think she plays the role. I mean, I don't think the children may see the differences if she didn't point the difference out. Look at that sorry Negro. He go to bring your brother home, but don't bring nothing home to you. I think she creates the differences. I think if she understands, and evidently, if you look at the guy in the video, he don't look like the sharpest knife in the drawer. I mean, he's a young boy. I mean, he don't. I evidently he don't see nothing wrong. There's no question if he do it once. This is the expectations, and it's kind of hard once you get started to stop it. You know, it's just kind of everybody run to the door. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard, man. And once you get started, you absolutely right. It's something you're gonna have a hard time stopping.
Yeah.
You know, here come Mr. Williams, and you know you looking for Mr. Williams have 4 bags in his hand, and he only got 1. Then the child may say something to Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams, you didn't get us nothing, Mr. Williams. You know, how can he say to them children, well, you ain't mine?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a bad situation, and I'm glad it's up for discussion.
Yeah, because it's tough, man, because you want to say, I will do this, I will do that. You want to say that in your heart, you want to do what's right, especially, you know, when it's kids, man. You don't want to see kids hungry. But let's go, Dr. Cook. Dr. Cook, are you digging a hole for yourself? If you do it one time, are they going to expect it every time? Every time you come to that door, are they going to expect for you to have 4 or 5 different bags in your hand? You only got 1 son in the house now.
Yes, they are going to expect that every time. Yes.
Wow. Tucson, talk to me, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
As a woman, I would have expected that too. As a woman, but I chose not to put myself in that situation.
Dr. Cook, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
And not talking about you specifically, but as a woman and from a woman's perspective, why is it that you all would expect for this man to take care of all of those kids and not just his own?
I'm saying if he started, we would expect it to continue.
Okay.
You know, some women think that way. If you start doing something, you basically want that to continue. But the person can talk to the other individuals about being an adult. Someone said it earlier. It's about being an adult. And if he started, basically you have to let the person know that if I do this time, I can't do it all the time because my money may not go that far.
Yeah.
It's about being able to talk to one another. Communication is the key. We failed to communicate. And that young woman, it doesn't appear that she communicates at all. She wants to communicate on social media to get herself some fame, but it doesn't appear that she knows how to communicate or that she communicates at all to this individual.
Wow. Rico, this could turn ugly. Like I said, and you could do it one time, but you could look at my bank account, ain't set up, for me to do this all the time. That they ain't have my bank account set up. My bank account just ain't set up that way. Now we'll do it today, but don't think this is gonna happen. This is gonna be the norm, because it's not. Is that a safer place?
You still might be setting up trouble, because then she's still gonna may take your kindness for weakness, because you might be the kindest one out the bunch. But now, depending on how she acts, she might use it as a weapon. I remember going to Florida one time after not seeing my son and wanting to spend some quality time with just him. Don't get me wrong, I had a rapport with his older sister because I raised her. I had a rapport with his younger sister because I thought she was mine before I got the DNA test. And then the one after that she had. But I still needed some one-on-one time with him, because they get to see their daddies, but my son don't get to see him. I live in another state. And every time I tried to take him out to the park or something to shoot basketball with him so he could have conversations with me, she say, if you can't take the rest of them, don't take none of them. Handcuff me. That tactic. So I realized, man, that, look, if the video is real, what I'm saying, it's sad. If it's not real, it still is good that they made it to bring up this discussion. Because once again, we have to start understanding that was still a better way that could have worked out, because those children remain hungry. There are words, they what where black girl magic come from? They made it customary for black, but it started from a woman's enchantment, feminine charm, that female power to persuade men. Delilah did it. Eve did it. You mean to tell me Eve could make Adam go against God and bite that apple, but she couldn't convince that man to buy a couple more cheeseburgers? She didn't have that feminine charm about herself. Somehow she was misprogrammed, or somehow she got entitled and felt like she could do like the white man do and make them do. See, this is going to get deep if y'all let me talk long enough. Because some of our younger sisters now feel like they're supposed to treat black men like white men used to treat black men back in the day. And we supposed to do it just because. And subconsciously, it shows up in this type of... But then we still have some men that try to create a way to make the man be wrong. What if this man married and he got a whole nother family of his own? What if he got 3 other kids and he's a good father? What if he's actively seeking custody, but it just ain't went to court yet? He just supposed to go above the law and do it himself? We don't know, but we tried to find a way to make him the responsible party. That's saying that was another man tried to make him seem responsible and created a scenario that we don't know nothing about. But if you look at the video and see what the real problem was, this woman did not use her feminine charm to convince this man, which women have done throughout history. Because, you know what I'm saying, we got
30 seconds, Rico.
According to Christianity, we got something we got to deal with, because Adam bit that apple. And she had, she charmed him out of God's word. Listen, you see these body parts, don't you? Whatever she used. So the thing is, man, and those children remain hungry if it was a real video.
Absolutely.
And she could have easily convinced that man with her feminine charm and used her black girl magic. The same black girl magic that she used to get the hair and nails and makeup done on the second video she did. Oh, by the way, they deleted both of them.
Oh, okay.
They don't exist no more. They gone. So you ain't gonna be able to see it unless somebody saved it some other way.
I think
she could have easily said,
if you're talking about that video, I found
what's
it.
the name? Send it to me. What's the name? Badger sent it to me. Go ahead.
I can't hear you.
I said, Badger sent it to me. I got him to play it in a minute. Badger, I think he has saved
Okay.
it. Yeah.
But she could have easily found different ways to convince that man through compassion and through logic. You know what I'm saying? To look, you the best baby dad I got. You the only one I can depend on to help me. You know, kindness. She didn't learn that somewhere. Somewhere she didn't learn to be kind. She didn't learn to be held accountable. She didn't learn to be respectful. So, you know, it was a way to convince that man, and that's what everybody is missing.
Good deal.
Conflict resolution.
Okay,
The
hold on,
problem
Rico.
was the children was hungry.
Okay, hold
Something
on,
was
Rico.
better than nothing.
Okay, hold on, Rico. We actually are way over your 3 minutes, man. But I want to pull some more people into the conversation. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother? What are you hearing today?
Dysfunction.
Mm-hmm.
Dysfunction. Look, somewhere along the line, and I know I like to joke, but it's getting to the point that it's not even funny.
Yeah.
It's really a situation that evidently happens.
Mm-hmm.
And it happens over and over again. Here's a young lady that evidently lives a certain way that somehow she's not has no order.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Evidently she don't have nobody to advise her or instruct her. And if she does, she's not listening.
Mm-hmm.
Evidently, and I'm just looking at what it is, and I wish I had more time, but I don't. But evidently there's some old daddies out there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She ain't married to now one of them.
Not nay one of them.
Dysfunction.
Mm-hmm.
Dysfunction.
Mm-hmm.
If you meet somebody else that's dysfunctional, first of all, you should be looking for some order. Okay. You got if you got 3-4 children, that needs to be known from the jump street in order to get some situation that will help everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get a man that just all he wants is a little piece of tail so that he can give you more of the same problem. Because that's what you're getting. Somebody, I wish I could say what I want to say, but I can't. I'll call you later and I can tell you. I'll call each one of you individually.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you what was just want to get a little bit coochie.
Mm-hmm. A little who?
Coochie.
Leonard, get your brother, Leonard. Get your brother. Get your brother.
And see now, it ain't about the McDonald's, it's dysfunction.
Mm-hmm.
And if we keep living dysfunction or out of order, that's what you're gonna get. You reap what you sow.
Mm-hmm.
And if you live drama, you're going to get drama. And you do it over and over again. Evidently, there's some problems with the rest of them, too, because they ain't bought no McDonald's, Burger King, or nothing. They didn't bring no sandwich, nothing.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So
here you are. But the thing about it is, and I'm out of time, you dressing and you looking pretty good. That's a problem.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Let me, I'm going to pull up the video and I'm going to play the video for the people that may not have seen it. And then we're going to continue this conversation because there's a lot of things that we're, even in this conversation right now, we're not touching on. I'm seeing that we're going to get there, but there's a lot of things that we're not touching on or have not touched on as of yet. But let me play the video for you. Let me see here. Let me pull it up. And while we do that, Leonard, what's on your heart while I get the video ready, brother?
No comment. Go ahead and play your video.
The dude say no comment. Leonard, I ain't never said you with no comment, brother. What's going on? What's going on with that? I ain't used to that answer. But let's do this. Let me play.
Remember the last time we say leave him alone.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave him alone because this dude ain't gonna tell what this dude here gonna say. Here we go. Let's play this video and see what it is. Here we go.
Meal for my child, but I have 3 other kids. We have 1 kid together, but he only want to come and bring one thing to McDonald's. But what about my other kids? How come you can't feed my other kids McDonald's though? Like that's bogus as hell. Like you're not finna sit here and make my other kids feel left out, and you're only bringing one child something to eat. Look, there you go. And I bet you he only got one thing in there. I bet you he only get. I'm finna expose that on him so people can see how he really is. It ain't more than enough food in that bag for everybody. What's up? Because I'm finna expose you. What? Because that don't look enough for all my kids. That don't look enough for all my kids. What is that? That's just one burger? One burger, one fry?
What he like? What do you mean?
Okay, what about my other kids?
What about your other kids?
Okay, but them your siblings though.
What are you talking about? What are you mad
Them my kids, them your kids' siblings though. So my other kids finna be left out.
You didn't feed them?
You know I don't get my food stamps to the 7.
Listen, this is my problem.
But if you're trying to help out though, you're not helping out.
I'm not trying to help my son.
But how are you helping your son when you're only getting kid food for just him and not the other kids, his siblings? Them are his siblings though. He's not finna eat it from all his other siblings and they're not eating on McDonald's. No, why do I gotta
bring one to the car?
No. He's not finna eat that at all if you can't bring enough for everybody.
Lisa, so you telling me that I gotta bring, so when I bring my son food, I gotta bring your kids food too now?
Yes.
You sound dumb.
How is that dumb? You sound dumb. You sound dumb.
Where are their daddies at? Nobody told you to talk to them other. You had them other kids. Them your responsibility. They're not my responsibility.
Okay, but if you're gonna bring one, you need to bring it for all. How do that shit look that I'm letting one child eat McDonald's and all the rest of the kids can't eat no fucking McDonald's? You know I get food stamps on the 11th.
That ain't 3 kids that ain't mine. 3 kids that ain't mine.
Yeah, they're his siblings. You knew what you was getting into when you had a baby with me.
No, I did.
Yes, you did.
You expect me to take care of all the kids? They're not my kids.
Okay, but you still had a baby with me who have kids with other people. I still have other kids. Because I'm exposing. Everybody think you such a motherfucking good daddy. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're foolish in this. You only come here with one piece of food for one child.
The child that's mine, silly.
No, that's dumb that you can't feed the other kids. Don't feed nobody at all. Then he can't take that. He can't eat it.
Maybe if you had 1 or 2, I could maybe. You got 4 is 3 extra kids. You all that go to my mother account, spend money on all those kids. They're not my kids.
Them are your kids' siblings, though. Dumb.
So that's what you gonna go with? That's the one you gonna
Those are your fucking kids' siblings. Yeah. So don't. No, I didn't say you have to take care of them. You can bring them something to eat if you bring one something to eat.
I bring them food every other day. What do you mean?
Exactly, but you don't never bring food for the other ones. You know I get my food stamps on the 11th.
Babies.
Okay, but I'm saying we share the same kid as well.
Absolutely. So if you want to, if you feel like a feeling about eating, take him in the room and let him.
I'm not taking my kid in the room.
Got to the car. He didn't got. He didn't put it. He come right out to the car and me.
No. You know what? Fine. Give it here.
Thank you.
Give it here. Give it here. Give it here. Doug, he ain't eating this. You.
Why don't you just do that?
Because you ain't bringing up for all the other kids. You stupid. Selfish as a. Like you're dumb as hell. You're dumb as hell. He's not finna eat that. Dumb. He's not finna do that. You can't do it for all the.
Wow. Wow. Where do we begin?
Wow.
Where do we begin? Wow. Ibrahim, talk to me, brother. Where do we begin with that?
Oh, wow. I tell you what, that was a sign of desperation, ignorance, and stupidity, and but ye without seeing cast the first stone. You know what I mean? Wow. That was so ugly on so many circumstances, right?
Mm-hmm.
And each one of them had a point. But the point I get to, what about the children?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What about the children? So if you look at perspective of the children, both of them were so wrong that them kids should be given some type of life or parenting. Somebody should take them pro kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because them two weren't worth to having. Ain't even up to being a parent.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I had to say that both of them are so wrong on so many levels, right? That and they admitted to it. He admitted to it that she had more than one child.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of like you said, like somebody said, he seems to be the sharpest tool in the shed. You know what I mean? But as far as talking about how men and women react, that's our basic biology. What does a man need a woman for? And what does a woman need a man for? In reality, that is our basic genetic makeup. You got it written in all the scriptures, right? We cleave to the woman cleaves to the man. She's supposed, she has the children, and they have a sexual attraction to each other that brings them together to have children, right? So the
Mm-hmm.
children, you know what I mean? And she finds a man that's capable of taking care of her children, all her children, really. You know, but a lot of us went through the 80s and 90s. You remember the crack days. You know, you know how a lot of women were. You know how a lot of
Mm-hmm.
guys were. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
she sounded like she was a desperation, but she wanted to call out somebody that she depended on, that she thought that she might could play him and do her bidding. You know what I mean? But she can go out and live her life. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But both
And
of them are
see,
so wrong. It's so
yeah,
wrong. I'm just like angry.
exactly. Dr. Cook, hearing the video and hearing everything that's going on, and I want to apologize. There was some language, they try to bleep it out as much as they could. Toward the end, there was more, and that's why I stopped it, because it got a little deeper with their language. And so I do apologize if some of those words got through or offended anyone. But Dr. Cook, what did you hear in that?
I heard a lot of stupidity, a lot of immature. Both of them were very immature, but I did understand the gentleman. It appeared in his voice, he was trying to reason with her a little, somewhat. From what he knows, he had a child by her, and he knew it was his responsibility to take care of his child.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't want to talk badly toward her, but she forced it out of him. And I believe that particular gentleman, he has some decency about himself, but she brought the ugliness out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a heart to take care of his own. And I believe whoever his mother or father was, someone did teach him to take care of his child. And both of them are very immature, but she went above and beyond to this man. And I'm saying he's just trying to do what he's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, I just hate to see women or young ladies act in that manner.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have to say.
And at one point, at one point, he said, she said, you only bring one bag, to feed her. He said, I bring food every day. I bring food every day. Every day I'm bringing food. Excuse me. Every day I'm bringing food over here to feed my son. I do it every day. And she said, you only bring one bag. Excuse me. You only bring one bag. And because of that reason, she has an issue. But he asked the question, Captain, what about their dads? I bring food every day. What about their dad?
Man, brother Raheem, the video gives so much validity to what everyone's saying on here. It makes you reflect. I really got a great chance to see her ignorance. It was very clear she kept talking to him about she doesn't get her food stamps.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And clearly what she's saying, if this is what she's saying, I don't have my food stamps, so I ran out of money.
Mm-hmm.
I ran out of food. Well, the question is, it's not his responsibility to manage her food stamps.
Yeah.
If you ran out of food early in the game, then you must be mismanaging your stamps. Mm-hmm. Are you giving your stamps to your sisters? Mm-hmm. Are you selling your stamps?
Yeah, come on.
However, you showed us what she did on that. She showed us her own ignorance. She set him up.
Yeah.
She knew he was coming. She knew he been doing this. I don't know why she chose to expose him, but he was doing exactly what he was supposed to do. Take care of my obligation, because we don't know to the degree in which she putting him on blast with other women, he don't take care of his child. Mm-hmm. We don't know that this may have been an issue down the road that brother you're not going to do that to me no more. I'm going to take care of mine. Now, at the same time, as you listen to him, he like, wait a minute, man, I can understand one or two. He said, I can understand one or two. But man, you dipping all up in my pocket. I heard somebody say, he ain't got it. He got it, another family. So as I said, it's 6-1 where you have that. But what she did, to me, he did not lose. She did. When I listen to it now, she really exposed her own ignorance.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, trying to put brother on blame. He didn't even know he gonna be set up. Here he comes. I mean, she clearly had this plan. She had this plan. Here he come. Watch it. I bet you he. Well, how come you know? If he said, Brother Raheem, I've been bringing food every day he been doing that.
Yep.
If his child is catching the blues from the other siblings, one, if she's showing more love to the other siblings than his child, so he don't care the others don't eat. Y'all make a mockery of me anyway, and you don't show me no love, Ma. You always taking care of them other ones because they was here first. You don't like me because I look like my daddy. So my daddy bring me some. My dad don't bring them Negroes nothing. And I like chicken McNuggets. So maybe they don't like chicken McNuggets. Maybe they want a Big Mac. So there's a lot of variables, and I think she lost, to be honest with you. I think he fulfilled his obligation. May have been kind of wrong not bringing some hungry children, but she mismanaged her food stamps, which is a sign that this woman got issues. She ain't the sharpest knife in the drawer either.
Exactly. And one of the things that I gathered from this, and we got some background noise coming from somebody line, mute your line. We're not talking, so we don't have the background noise. He said, I do this, I've been bringing it every day. She never disputed that. She never disputed that. She said, but you've been bringing it for one child every day. So it's there's so many different. VP, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning? VP?
Good morning. How are you?
Hey.
Driving on the way to Georgia.
Okay, come on, y'all. Come on down here. Yeah. What do y'all think? I think I heard both of you in the car. So what do y'all think about this whole scenario with this young lady, man? Was she right? Was she wrong? Was she off base? What happened? What
are we talking about the one with the McDonald's food?
Yes.
I think you asked him first, so Bell, go ahead.
While y'all were doing it, she was telling me the story, so I don't really know. She was saying that the guy was bringing one bag of food for his kid, and then she had other kids.
Well, she had other kids. She had 3 other kids, but he was feeding his son. He kept telling her that, the other kids are not my responsibility. You're supposed to feed them. Or where's their daddy? And so
she was mad because when they were together, he had no problem feeding other kids.
Now that part I don't know. I don't know. But my thing is, at this point, he's bringing food, and he says he's been bringing food every day for his son. For his son is what he's been doing. And so because of that reason, she got upset. So she gonna quote unquote set him up, and that's what came out of it. Was he right? Was he wrong for just bringing one bag of food? Is he obligated, responsible for all the other kids? What do you say to that?
I think I'm gonna be the exception on this one. I think he put himself in a predicament when he decided to lay with this lady and not continue to commit to the relationship afterwards. So, in my feelings, I'm not saying he should be there. I don't think she should be just the only one in blame, because her emotions is what's talking it. But there's no telling what he was pillow talking this girl to and how he was treating her prior to these McDonald's bags or him bringing this one thing of food. Because to me, it sounded like he being petty. Because you ain't got to show up to her house every day to feed these kids. It's various ways to still show affection. And to me, it's almost like he's the one, he's egging her on. Because if you show up to my house every day, then I got 4 kids, and you bring in one bag, that's kind of, come get your baby. If it's going to be that. I mean, they might be mad that their daddy ain't showing up, but as a mom, that's you there to comfort and to be them. But if you bring it, because that's still the same, that's disrespectful to the kids. That causes
VP, VP,
Joseph and his brothers.
VP.
I don't know.
VP, let me ask you this. You say it's disrespectful to the kids. He only he only biologically, he's only the father to one of those children. And he said you went out there and you had those other kids, those were they daddy and stuff like this. You know, where's their dad? But obligation. I guess what I need to do is I need to understand why you say it's disrespectful to the kids when you know he's doing what society says he's supposed to do, take care of his child.
He is trying to show up for his child in this type of way that was showcased to us. However, not knowing how much is true, she came back later post.
Okay, y'all breaking up just a little bit. Okay, I'm about to go to somebody else. Y'all breaking up kind of bad there. Y'all breaking up kind of bad there for me. Friday, go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
He was providing meals equally or with equal distribution, and then once they broke up, and so it seems like the breakup, he determined that now because a baby did come out of their relationship, though she already had kids, that his focus needed to be on his kids, and I can't fault him for that. And in her mind, because obviously no communication happened, she felt as though he should continue to do for not just his, but all the other ones. So they need to communicate on what the expectation really is. But obligation-wise, by outside of moral and higher expectations, it's only to his kids. But it does need to be fashioned in a way where it minimizes the impact to the other kids. And depending on the length of the relationship, he does or had created some type of bond with those other kids. Mm-hmm. So it does kind of throw salt in their face when they see him and he don't have no words for them. Because regardless of them being together or not, he is a male influence in their life that they spend time with, and he needs to accept that, even though they're not going to be together. He still has to navigate those relationships in a way to minimize the mental impact that may be caused by him now, quote unquote, neglecting them.
Okay. But see, my thing is, and I'm standing with him on one of the things that he said. We're gonna move on. We got a couple other people I want to touch on this as well. But my thing is, why all the responsibility is coming on me? Yeah, maybe I was in the household, maybe I was this, but at the same time, even doing that, you know, I could have been asking the same question. What they dad's at? You know, they don't have any responsibility in raising their children. Financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, they have no responsibility, zero, none. And you and so I'm supposed to come in, and sometimes people will do it, sometimes people won't. But I'm supposed to just come in and take on all of the responsibility, and the ones that you was with before me, or even after me, because I don't know the ages of the kids, they have no responsibility at all, none, zero. Rico, I have kind of an issue with that. What do you say?
You know, everybody has a point. And I agree with what you're saying wholeheartedly, because he does have that point. And I mean, you know, to a certain extent, listen, it could have been, you know, pretty respectful for him to do that. Mm-hmm. But imagine if he was bringing his son food every day and he had to bring food for them every day. Mm-hmm. Then she started expecting it. You know what I said that about an expectation earlier.
Absolutely.
She started sounding like she was entitled. Mm-hmm. But now, see, the thing is people have to understand what her intention was. Because if she was really trying to expose him and show people that he ain't a good daddy because everybody think he was a good daddy. If she really wanted to do that, she should have said kindly, can you go buy some food for my other children, please? And then show what type of rude, cruel man he was. Y'all look at him being petty. I asked him nicely, and he still wouldn't do it. Y'all, my kid's hungry. Like I said, feminine charm. See, this is what, even as a father, even as a man, and even if somebody has been in a situation similar to that, I say to myself, well, you know what? What's the biggest problem here? The children hungry. Mm-hmm. Well, what can we do to solve this problem? And so, like right now, we're going back and forth and saying, who is wrong, who is wrong, who is wrong, who is wrong? Nobody addressed her intention and how she came to try to prove what she did and made that atmosphere aggressive in the first place. Because it could have been very peaceful and he could have just been a butthole. And then she would have got her point across. But it backfired. So now this is the issue. Can we discuss Because some people might not have an example or know how to handle a situation like that, or to even think logically to justify him feeding them children.
Mm-hmm.
Can we discuss what she could have done or should have done to make sure them children weren't hungry anymore? Forget who fault it was. Forget that he set himself up sleeping with a woman like that. Forget that she ain't have no upbringing. The children still hungry.
Mm-hmm. And
so how can she learn, and what can we tell other women like her to think that that's the way you're supposed to do it?
Mm-hmm.
Because we ain't begging nobody for nothing. Oh, you ever heard that before? I ain't begging no man. It ain't about begging, it's about being kind. But sometimes people think being kind and being nice, they're lowering their standards.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So now you begging by being nice. And she might have been one of the type of people that think just if she'd have been kind and nice, she'd have been begging. I ain't gonna beg you, because I done heard it too many times, and not just in my situation, but others.
Mm-hmm.
That mindset that people think, I ain't got to be nice. I could demand that you're gonna do it because I said so. I ain't gonna beg you to do nothing you're supposed to do. But wait a minute, I ain't even supposed to do that.
Mm-hmm. 30 seconds, we go.
So how the children gonna get fed? So what other route could she have taken? Because she might need some advice, or somebody out there listening might need some conflict resolution examples.
Exactly.
Problem solving skills.
Exactly. And if anybody have any solutions, man, that we're not saying, because we may be missing something, give us a call. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. You could be out there listening and say, why don't they think about this? Or have they thought about this? Give us a call and let us know what it is that you're thinking about, and that's on your heart. Badger, what's on your heart right now?
I'm looking at the whole situation because it seems like she does this quite a bit. But if we're just focusing on solutions, I mean, depending on where you actually pretty much anywhere you live, there's always access to help. Like, to me, you know, is he paying child support? Is she reaching out to food banks? Is she reaching out to any local areas to get extra food if she's struggling being able to manage food stamps properly? Like, there's so many variables that we are saying based on this video that I'm very just observing the behavior of both of them. You know, if he's the only baby daddy that's bringing food, you know, there's so many variables to just that video, and so many things that are not answered. So to me, it's pretty much on the basis of just on the video alone. She shouldn't have thrown the food down. She should have handled it nicely. Shoot, he could have even offered her, going, hey, there's a food bank right around the corner. Do you want to go get food from the food bank and stuff, so that way all the kids can eat? Offer to give her a ride to go get everything. But I have a feeling with the way that woman's responding and stuff, she probably would have said no.
Wow.
So like it's we don't know who these two people are. From what I can tell, anyone that's on the line today don't know who they are. I tried looking up who they were. Somehow that video got sent to someone else to get broadcasted all over the internet. So the woman didn't even expose herself. So
30 seconds.
This stuff happens every day. And once again, mental health, the access is out there. You just got to find it.
Exactly. Rico, I think you wanted to say or make a point to Badger or something to that effect.
Yeah, we trying to find solutions in real time, but he ended up coming around to the real time. I mean, because some of the things, some people might say, well, you know what, they can do this, they can do that down the road, but right now the children are hungry. And in some situations at that point in time, those children are hungry right now. See, I'm going to say this to somebody. Imagine being those children in that house looking at that food hit that road. They probably thought he probably told them, y'all, when my daddy bring this food, I'm gonna give y'all some. Imagine they hungry and she don't get her stamps till 11 with her hair done and her nail done. And they notice this, they see this, they know they hungry, but mama look good. They hungry and they see that food hit the ground. They see, oh man, mama got the food, y'all. She ain't fussing no more. She ain't wasting time recording him. Imagine them children, how they seen. So how can we solve that problem of them children being hungry at that moment?
Exactly. Got a couple of other callers that called in. I think Friday, I think that's you that called in. Friday, are you there?
I'm here. Can y'all hear us better?
Yeah, we can hear you better now. Go ahead, make your point, sis.
No, we just watched it again since we had a disconnection, and so there's ways that can be navigated for him to spend time with his child and not feel obligated that if he takes the child fishing or a trip that he gotta take all of them on a fishing trip and all of them, unless it's the request of that child, and then he can make those types of arrangements. But again, to the point that I was making earlier, if he is showing up that way, what barriers is she putting up for him that he can't just come pick him up and take him and bring him back? But there is a portion of that has to be navigated, and they have to figure out how to discuss and mitigate between the two of them or with a mediator, because he was in a relationship with them all when he dated her, and then by result of that relationship, she gave birth to his child that now he's focusing on as he still needs to navigate that relationship with the other kids in a way where it has minimal impact on them, because there was some type of bond established with him and those other kids as well. And so one thing that she did say that I couldn't fall her for is that the breakup isn't just with her, it's with the kids too. So he has to think about that too. And oftentimes, because of emotions being so high with their own discord, that's not thought about.
Wow. But see, that takes me. I appreciate what you said, and you have a very valid point. But it still takes me back to the point of, where are their dads? What there's 3 other kids in that house that have fathers. I don't know if it's 3 different dads or 1 dad, 2 dads, or whatever the case. But
Which includes that the other fathers have responsibility to step up and show up too.
Yes.
But for the fact that first she put him in their relationship last, and he was the last for however long, I don't think it stated if it was 8 months, a year, or how long, but that's last known impact. And unfortunately, if they were already deadbeat dads, previously, then him showing up for his son should be used as a negative weapon to impact the kids that have already created a relationship.
Okay. I mean, that's cool too. But let me come to you, Leonard. I'm gonna ask you
Yes, sir.
a very open question. I need your wholehearted answer on this. Is this whole situation just bat dog crazy?
Pretty much. But I mean, there's a larger implication as it relates to the culture. And to talk about this one situation takes away from what's going on in the culture. That's just one situation. And when people talk about what this, that, and the other, men don't allow women to talk to you that way. That's one. And you got to realize, when you lay down with somebody like that, you're gonna truly understand the meaning of effed up. I wouldn't even date a woman with children.
Wow.
For this very reason. I don't want to deal with it. None of it. First of all, I don't even want to deal with a woman with that tone of voice, because that's nothing but trouble. But if you that weak, that lets everybody know how weak you are. that you actually had a baby with a woman like that?
Why do you say that weak, Leonard? Because like I say, situations happen, and
You should have wanted better in
people,
your life. You should have wanted
well,
better for your life.
people manipulate, man. And
No, they don't. No,
we
they
always
don't.
we
No,
always
they
talk about the
don't.
representative. A lot of times
No,
when you
they
meet
don't.
somebody,
No, they don't.
they're not gonna show you exactly who they are
No,
up
they
front
don't.
in the beginning.
No, that's just what you say when
That's
you
the truth.
don't take responsibility for who you laying down with.
Like I said, we're not gonna agree on that part, Leonard, because like I said, I know that
I
a
know
lot
you all got tricked. You all tricked. You tricked. She tricked you, didn't
you
she?
call it what you want to call it, and
She tricked you, didn't she?
sometimes that is the case.
You
Sometimes they
didn't
do
care
trick you.
nothing about where you
Sometimes
planted
they
your
do trick
seed
you.
at, did you?
Sometimes the game is so good, Leonard. Sometimes yes, you get tricked,
Right.
and we all have been tricked. And Leonard,
Yeah.
truth of the matter, you've been tricked before.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
can't
if you
tell me
say
in your
so.
whole life of living that ain't no woman ever tricked you in some kind of situation.
Raheem,
Yes.
I have no reason to lie. Check my background. I don't F around like that.
Okay. Well,
Because I don't have the patience
the
for the
average guy,
simple. But the
listen to
average
me.
guy
The average
has
guy
to
has been tricked in some
understand
kind of way.
that average is not good enough when it comes to raising children and
Oh, that's
making
beautiful.
babies.
That don't change the fact, though. That don't change the fact.
Well, y'all
And the
keep
fact,
doing
and the
what you're
fact,
doing.
no, we're not saying that either. But the fact is,
But what are you saying?
a lot of times people present to you, and Leonard, I'm sure you probably has presented the representatives to somebody that you wanted to deal with. And so a lot of times
No.
you're not gonna go to this person, meet this person for the first time
No.
and say, well, I'm just bat crazy. I did this and I did that.
No.
You're not gonna do all that. You're gonna
Why?
put your best foot forward to try to convince that person that you're the best person for them.
Well,
And that's
first
the
of
representative.
all, where's the evidence?
Wow. Okay. Show you the receipts, right? Okay. Captain, what's on your heart, brother? Captain.
I'm not sure how it goes. I'm sorry, Captain Dennis, but I didn't hear you. I hear you breaking up now. Go ahead. I can't hear you.
I just say we're gonna call him Dr. Lovelace. Why y'all keep going after him, man? You know, if he was in the Wizard of Oz, he would be the Tin Man. He need a heart. he need a heart. Y'all don't feel sorry for Dr. Lovelace.
But I will actually say, Captain Dennis, I am very ruthless that way.
You know what? And you know what, Leonard? You probably the only man I ever met in my life that's genuine, sincere, and you probably like that. I just ain't never met a man like you before. Not that a man like you don't exist. You're a very no-nonsense man. I appreciate it about you. You stick to your guns. You don't care. You're not trying to win no popularity contest. And it may sound very ruthless, but it has worked for you. And only problem, Professor Leonard, is there are people out there that we all have been bamboozled, hoodwinked, and we got caught watching that backfield in motion. But nevertheless, we all been, some of us, not all of us. I think, Brother Raheem, let me put this on the table. If she would have had her food stamps, let's put the word if. If she would have had her food stamps, would this be an issue? Would this be an issue? The food stamps would have said they're not hungry because they eating. Even little Larry eating. Would this have been an issue? She is crying out because she has fallen short and taken and providing what government have given her food stamps for. The food stamps, evidently, you don't get food stamps for nothing. I'm sure I've never got them before in my life, but I'm sure there's a reason the government gives you food stamps. I'm sure there are men. And I'm sure there are a lot, and more people who have probably received can speak on it better than me. I'm sure there is a lot based upon, number one, your income, based on number two, the number of children. And I can't see the government not giving you enough to fall short in the middle of the month. And I just don't see that. So something happened. And I think she's upset that she has fallen short with her stamps. And she going to lay it at brother's doorstep. And maybe he's tired of it. Maybe he's tired of, man, every time you look around. I've been in a situation where it's hard to come. I have a daughter, and she have a stepsister, very beautiful. She called me Pops too. And being a man I am, I'm just that kind of dude. But I cannot come and get her and don't take her daughter, even though I take her sister, even though I know that her sister's father is a bum. I know that. And I feel sorry that their mother had laid down with this bum. But I'm not a bum. So I'm going to step up and help her sister up, because she needs a father, she needs a strong figure, and I try to be that. But when it comes to buying clothes and all that, come on, don't lay that at my door. Well, you going to buy her a Jordan pair of sneakers, buy so-and-so pair. Wait a minute, that's going a little beyond. I may take it to a vendor too, take it to the movie when we go to the movie, and we may go out to a restaurant and eat. But clearly, you can always lean more towards your own. Come on, man. You can always, that's human nature. You can always look after your own first. So for him to come look after his own, that's human nature. Now, was he a man about it? Well, you don't know the son. She probably teed him off, ain't no question. But if the food stamps, if she would have had food stamp family, I want to ask that question, put that on the floor, if we don't mind. Would we be talking about this if she would have not ran out of food stamps? No. I need to know that.
Wouldn't even be an issue.
Raheem.
Yes.
I like what Captain Dennis is saying and what we're discussing. However, I think that, people should really find out how they cannot wind up in this type of relationship.
Absolutely.
This is, I can't even, and maybe because I don't have that type of patience, even working with young men, if we're trying to do things for men with, say, for instance, kids without fathers. And I wrote a program, right? This enrichment project. One of my restrictions is that you cannot have relationships with the women. Why? See, because you're there to help yourself. And when you helped yourself to her, you didn't think about the implication. I don't want to be with a woman, can't be with me and have 3 kids. You know why? Because her focus should be on her 3 children, not me. And I think it would help folks who out here in this lifestyle to understand that for every young man, you don't want this in your life. You got to steer yourself away from these traps. Because that, like a woman said, I can, how when a girl want to talk about shit, I wish I'm grown. I can do this. I can do that. You ain't got nothing to offer this wicked world but what's between your legs. And that's what's going to happen. Soon you run out here like that. Now you got babies by everybody, wondering why don't nobody want you. But they want to come by and spend the night with you and take advantage of you.
Wow.
See, when I see that situation, caring for my people won't allow me to do that to a woman.
508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Mr. Hicks, talk to me, sir. What's on your heart?
Oh yes. I was thinking. This made me think about that story about Motown, and when they pull those the Supremes out of the hood, they put them through classes to teach them refinement. In our original cultures, women were raised up as children to be mothers and caretakers. That was their whole direction. I think back to my early days when we had classes to teach us how to be men. It was called the FOI. Then they had it for the sisters, the Muslim girls in training. And it was basically teach them how to be a mother, how to be a wife. So I think that if we want to get to the origin of the thing, there got to be some kind of way that we incorporate creating a new culture. And it's going to be hard because it's against the tide of the world around us, which is divided man against woman. It's causing this conviction. Everything is around the laws for divorce, the laws for children. When you go to the court, it's lopsided. So I look at it as a bad situation, but I figure like to see it. When you get yourself in a situation like this, you got to man up. You got to solve. You got to solve it. You can't complain. You lay down. You pick that choice. You did it. Sometimes we want to have the have the good without the consequences, but there's
Come on.
always consequences.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're raised in a culture that teach you what your consequences will be if you do this or do that. So I think it's back to a basic, some kind of way. I wish somebody had a lot of money. One of them big billionaire black folks would go down and create something like that. When we were teaching young kids coming from these broken families to go somewhere and be taught how you could do it other than what your parents did.
Exactly. Willa, good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
I'm fine, Raheem. I am doing wonderful. I'm out here doing a walk.
There you go.
Come on, Raheem. Come on, Raheem. Trying to lose some of these Haagen-Dazs pounds.
Good, no money. Not the Haagen-Dazs. Not the Haagen-Dazs. Look here, we got to get you and Rico together. Rico out there walking too. We got to get y'all together so y'all can walk. Rico say he be walking.
Oh, okay.
I walk off Bluebell.
Exactly. For y'all or something else. Willa, we talk. Have you been listening this morning? Have you been listening at all?
Oh yeah. I especially was listening to Leonard and Cap. I was listening to them. That's around the time when I got on.
Okay, we're talking about young lady when she had a baby by the young man. She called, say the son is hungry. He went to McDonald's to get some food. She got upset because he only bought food for his son, and she have 3 other kids, 3 other siblings, and she made this big funk to the fact that she took the food from him and threw it on the ground. Now everybody's still hungry.
Wow.
And so I'm asking the question: is it his responsibility? Should he be overly concerned about taking care of somebody else's kids? He got 1 son by her. He bought food for that child, and by looking at the video, we showed the video a second ago. He said he'd been bringing food every day, and she said, "But you only been bringing food for one child, yours. What about the other? What about his siblings? Whose responsibility?"
Wow. If it's okay, Raheem, my daughter, she walking with me. She wants to comment on that.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Well, my thought on that is,
I think the child should have went into the car. I think the kids shouldn't have known. I think and even so, I don't think the child should have called the father. The boy shouldn't have been hungry in the first place, and she got all them kids. But at the same time, it depends on their relationship too. The mom and the baby daddy, whoever. So it depends on their relationship. Even though they was in a relationship, I think it was okay for him to bring the food. I think the child should have been able to go to the car and eat it or so. So that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, I had it.
So my daughter's kind of saying that it wasn't his responsibility, but I think as an individual, like Cap was saying, that from a man's standpoint, if you know that there are other children in the household and they're hungry, that's like feeding a stranger. It wouldn't have hurt for him to bring extra food, especially from a dollar store like McDonald's, to help provide for the other kids. But it's not his responsibility. It is not. But it depends on the person that's doing it to make that choice. And I would hope that a man, we're talking about a man, we're talking about a real man, would make that choice to feed other kids, even though they're not here. So that's what's on my heart.
Okay, well, let me ask you this question, because he said he's been bringing food every day for his son, every day. And she said, yeah, she didn't dispute it. She said, yeah, but you've been bringing food for just your son. Now, is he responsible to do this every day? Because, those kids actually have fathers as well. What do they have responsibility? What are their responsibility lies?
Right. And you're right, Raheem. It's not his responsibility every day to do that. It's not. Because that's the question. The question is it his responsibility?
Yes.
No, it's not his responsibility. But as a human being, and if you got it, because I just believe the seeds that you plant, you're going to be blessed back. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. So when you do something out your heart, trust me, God will make a way and provide for you all the time.
it shouldn't be a motive on why you're doing it. You should be doing it because you want to, you love doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So no, it's not his responsibility, but as a human being, as a man, I would do that because I feed children all the time. That's not mine. I feed people every day. That's not mine.
Okay.
People that's in the street that's asking for $1 and $2. I'm giving them money every day.
Mm-hmm.
So what would be the difference? What would be the difference?
I understand what you're saying, and you're making a very valid point. But what if he says bank account ain't set up like that though? My bank account ain't set up to to do this every day. That ain't how my bank account is set up. It's set up a little different. And so
there you go. That's where your faith lies. Hey,
Mhm.
Raheem, that's where your faith lies when you go to church and you don't get your 10%.
Mhm.
Are you giving it based on you don't have it, or you're trusting God more? Which one you doing?
Mhm.
Because I tell you what, that if you believe that God going to provide what He said in His word, it don't matter because He
Mhm.
gonna make a way.
Mhm.
And that's what I believe, Raheem.
Okay. There you go. We'll keep that. We'll keep that absolutely. Look, how you say absolutely right there. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother?
I know, and then I thought I was gonna go crazy, but I'm not.
Okay.
I know. Let me kind of be personal a little bit, and I'm gonna try to not be too. But my daughter came to me and she says, "Daddy, I got something to tell you, but it's gonna cost you." I told this before, and she says, "Oh, I gotta call you back." Waited. She called me back. She says, "I'm getting married." I said, "Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Who you marrying?" My baby daddy. But it's gonna cost me, right? I said, "Okay, where does he stay?" "Oh, no, first of all, where does he work?" "Oh, he cut hair on the side." "Okay." Strike one. Where does he live? With his sister. Strike two.
Mm-hmm.
Month ago, he calls, and you have to excuse me, everybody excuse me, but he calls and he says to her, "Don't call me about them damn children."
Wow.
That's your children.
Mm-hmm.
I told her, that's not going to cost me nothing because I'm not going to help nobody bring you down.
Mm-hmm.
The next time you need something, you call me, period.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the parents?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the help she already should have? Where's the support that she should already have? Because sometimes our children don't do the right thing. They don't.
Mm-hmm.
They look good, they clowning, they're acting a fool, and they putting their lives on display. Where are the people that are going to tell our young folks, wait, stop? If they're going to listen now, that's another thing. They don't listen.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them do, some of them don't. But wait a minute. Make wise choices. If you're already in a situation, don't dig a bigger hole for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I wish my daughter would wait for somebody. I got one to do anything. And she's any one of them kids. That ain't my kids. It's not mine.
Mm-hmm.
Any one of them. I know that's my grandchildren, but that's not my kids.
Mm-hmm.
But she don't have no business searching out. And them kids are hungry, and that's my grandchildren. The devil is a lie. I'll say this, and I know I'm out of time now, Raheem. I got into a relationship with somebody that already had a kid. Till this very day, if that child calls me, I'm gonna see about her. I don't care what it is.
Mm-hmm.
If she need a car, I'm gonna go figure out how to do it. That ain't my child.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not even, the woman that got married again. That ain't my business. But when I met that woman, that child was 2 years old. I took on that responsibility.
Yeah.
Until this day, if she rings me my phone when I have a phone chat with my kids, she's involved.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way it is.
And that's the way it is. Absolutely. Absolutely. Dr. Cook, what's on your heart?
I really love Mr. Tupac because I tell you, he sounds like he's such a gentleman, and he lays it. He basically puts it out there. Him and Mr. Leonard. Leonard, he's set in his ways, and that's good. He basically knew what he wanted. His mind was focused, and that's a great thing. But I really like Mr. Tupac because Mr. Tupac sounds like a gentleman. His
Tucson?
His parents brought him up so well.
Him right now?
I just love what he says. I really like what he says.
You mean Donald?
And I really like that he stood up with what he just said in reference to the young lady. I like him standing up as a man and doing something. He gave his heart. And I really like that, Mr. Tucson. I really like that. And I like what everybody else said as well, but I really like what Mr. Tucson basically just said.
You mean Donald? No, I'm just picking. Donald's a great guy. He really is. Let's keep this thing going. Anything that you want to say, Dr. Cook?
That's it right now.
Curtis, good morning. How you doing this morning?
What up, man? What's going on?
Hey, what's going on with you, brother? You been listening to the broadcast, or I need to catch up to speed? What we're talking about?
No, you gotta catch me up to speed. I just started listening.
Okay.
I heard the last words of Donald.
Okay. Now let me ask you something. Did you see the video with the young lady where the man bought her some McDonald's for her son? Did you see that video?
Yeah, where he brought McDonald's for his son.
Yes. And she said he have three other siblings, and she got so mad she threw the food on the ground. You saw that video?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about now, Kurt. And watching that video and seeing it from where you're sitting from, who was right and who was wrong in that whole scenario?
Man, come on, man. Come on.
Talk to me.
You know, at the end of the day, that man has a responsibility to one. He does not have a responsibility to four. He has a responsibility to one. If he extends his responsibility to four, so be it. If he don't, then he don't. That's not his obligation and or responsibility to feed kids that don't belong to him. Now, most of us are hooked up in most of us in this day and age are involved in blended families. So we have those type of obligations and or responsibilities. I'm with Donald. Like my wife, my present wife, had 4 kids when we met. Once I assumed the relationship with her, I assumed the responsibility of those other 4 kids. Once I'm out the door, I'm not obligated to take care of her 4 kids. If I choose to do that, then that states my measurement of a man. That just says that I am just a little more understanding and a little more capable. But come on, man. I think she made herself look like a fool. I really do. I think the young lady made herself look like a fool, thinking that the world was going to be receptive of what she was doing. I think it was one of them situations where once again, we're going to emasculate, denigrate, and disrespect the African-American brother for what's going on. At least the brother was bringing at least he was taking care of his responsibility. It's not his responsibility to take care of kids, man. I'm sorry.
Good deal.
They got daddies of their own. Where they daddies at?
Absolutely. Rico, what's on your heart? And the VP coming to you next, brother.
You know, man, what I think I'm starting to realize is that somebody want to say, look at y'all, look at Rico. He got a baby by a woman like that. He weak. That's what I really think somebody want to say. And it happens enough on here where you just like, man, wait a minute, where is that coming from? But see, that's a misperception because even Adam got tricked by Eve. Even Samson got tricked by Delilah. And these are people that we hold up on pedestals historically with their weak self. And guess what? What I did in some of these situations where I did go ahead and take everybody to the park. I went and took everybody to eat. Then it became, we take it a step forward. They need school clothes. You see, you start feeding a monster, and with a person that intends to keep on being that monster and manipulating you because they know they taking your kindness for weakness, and you got a heart like that. But the other fathers don't get that same work. The other fathers don't get that same demand. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so it's really boiling down to the fact of it's some children sitting in the house, 4 of them hungry, all of them got different dads. And they saying, hey, we hungry. And the mom and the dad sitting out there saying, it's your fault, you supposed to do. Then people on the outside looking in, and they say, hey, y'all, they put a video out fussing about us being hungry. Well, he weak. He shouldn't have put his thing in them. Okay, but what about the people that already made that decision and they in that situation? What about those children that still hungry? What should that woman do that don't have that home training? How should that man handle that? Because it's too late for all that finger pointing. And I'm better than you and you trash because you have made bad decisions in your past. So now the children, hey, Mr. Social Activist, we still hungry. I said your daddy weak. I would never sleep with a woman like that. Hey, y'all, I'm still hungry. We still hungry. And the food out there on the ground, and ain't nobody gonna say nothing to my mama.
30 seconds, we go.
So I'm trying to figure out of all of this has been said, because everything is true, and all the scenarios that could have taken place. But the end result is that the children's belly is touching their back, and ain't nobody said, well, baby, next time you're in that situation and you know that man need a little convincing, talk to him kindly. You know, Mr. Hicks said that about etiquette. I said that about a woman's enchantment and feminine charm, and that is just glossed over because it ain't expected for a woman to be a woman no more. We used to have roles. Now it's expected for a woman to be a dictating white man. You gonna do it because I told you to do it, you sorry nigga.
Hey.
So, I mean, you know, we still got to get to those people that were weak, but they still strong enough to be the bigger person and say, well, I bought the food this time. Well, dang, I just bought the food yesterday. Okay, I'll buy it again. Well, you know what? You ain't bought it today. You a weak ass man.
Hey. Hold right there, Rico. Let me you over your 30 seconds. Let me see who I got here. Let's go to I said I was gonna go to VP. I sure did. VP, what's on your heart, brother?
I think I am a little flabbergasted. And maybe because I'm the good-hearted guy in this one who looks at responsibility a little differently. We don't know their whole backgrounds. I don't know their whole story of how they got to the scenario where they're looking at each other through a camera phone, trying to put on blast on social media. But I'll paint it from the initial. When he met this girl in the club, I'm assuming probably depending on how his lifestyle set up, his first intention was to get into the underwear.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm sure he came to that house where she already had some kids, knocked on them doors, and made a relationship with that lady and them kids.
Mm-hmm.
He made a baby, and I'm from me growing up with mostly all women. When women lay down and a seed is grown and a baby comes out, the expectation is not that you about to just bounce on me, but that you're going to be there for them. I understand everybody's standpoint on that. This ain't my kid and all that. You know, right? That's your right. But I also see that if you're buying this kid McDonald's every day, 30 days, and say you did that at a minimum of $6, that's $180 you spent on food for one child. If you were man enough, you could just hand that $180 over, and then not worry about this argument that because he's creating this argument. I don't understand where we're missing this. It's almost like people missing the part where in the Bible says Jesus wept, and then the next one it says he walked with them angrily. But they were like, why would Jesus lie? Why was he crying? Because you're not getting the whole story. This man brought these people, this woman watched him do this every day. And we could say every day for a week. So every day for a week, she's bringing a bag in and giving it to this one son while the other ones looked at food stamps don't buy McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
So if she's irresponsible and then got rid of her food stamps and sold them off for whatever, you know what? What we're doing is we're attacking a woman for not being in the proper place she's supposed to. But it's really this man's fault. Because he's enticing this situation to become worse.
VP, let me ask you a
Anytime
question.
you knock on somebody's door and deliver something, like if I order this Amazon for myself every day, and I'm opening up a package to make myself happy every day, and my wife and my son were like, well, where's mine coming around?
Okay,
You don't think
VP,
that's gonna start to
VP,
build up something?
VP, let me ask you a question, brother. Let me ask you a question. Because I'm hearing you say that the responsibility is he's the one that's doing this. He's poking the bear, if you will. I hear you saying that. But my thing is, even if he's going out there and he's buying food every day, and even if it does 30 days or whatever it is, equal $180, whatever it is. My thing is, we are taking the responsibility, and instead of dividing the responsibility, we're taking a whole ball of wax and we're placing it in his lap. Now, he got one child in that house. There's 3 other kids in the house. I don't know if there's 3 other baby dads, and I hate that term, baby daddies.
But I would ask you, Raheem, are we talking about kids, or are we talking about grown people?
We're talking about children. There are 3 kids.
No, we're talking about the 2 people who made the children.
VP, okay, hold on. Let me do it. VP,
what it is people want to not have responsibilities for the actions that they take. Just like Larry's saying, Larry's basically saying, if you're going to be a man, be a man.
Hold on.
If you don't,
I'm going to have to mute you there for a second, VP, because you're not listening to me, brother. My thing is this right
no, y'all.
VP. My thing is this right here. We're putting all the responsibility on him as the man. Okay, that's fine. But why did he get all the responsibility? Why can't it be equally distributed? But there's other three different kids in that household that have fathers. They didn't come here by themselves. They did not. They had to have, they had to be some adult activity that produced them as well. Why do he have to have the whole ball of? Why he have to take on all the responsibility of these 3 other kids as well? Now, if you want to do it, that's fine. I would probably and me and Rico talked about this. I said I would probably bring the food for all of them. I understand your point on that, but the whole responsibility should not just be placed on him, and the other baby daddy, or whatever it is, has no responsibility at all. You're taking all the responsibility and you're giving it solely to him, and say that he's wrong because you don't want to take on that responsibility.
No, that's not what I'm doing at all. What I'm saying is, and what people are ignoring is, this man is bringing food every day. If ain't nobody saying he ain't take care of his kids at all. Just like, and I think this is coming, just like Will's sister came on and said, you can do that in a whole different manner. And that's the part that people are ignoring. It doesn't care. It doesn't matter that he's bringing kids, but his kids. What you're doing is you're creating a scenario, and that's why it's on his shoulders. Because as a man, he needs to get grounded in his own understanding of what it is to be a father to his kids and have other kids in his presence. Ain't nobody saying she ain't did nothing wrong. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is, by him bringing McDonald's every day, and if you quantity put that into money, then stop showing up with McDonald's bags and just send $180 and let her deal with it. That's why it's his fault.
See,
it ain't his fault because she made other kids with other people. It's his fault because he wants to show up and say, well, I'm the one providing for mine only. But that's you're still spending money.
But see,
and if you were a man enough, you knew you were going to spend $180 a month, you might as well just send that $180 to her instead of creating a scenario like this one where we're arguing about you spending $180, because that's what this is about.
Okay.
Spending $180.
But my thing is this right here. The first part of that is, I'm never gonna be in a situation where I tell any man how to spend his money or what he needs to spend his money on. That's if he chose to do that, if he chose to go out there and just give $180 and say, look, go out there and buy groceries for all the kids. That's that's his money. I can't tell him what to do with his money. But my thing is this: he's being responsible. He's being a father to his son. I'm not. It's hard for me to get away from that, and for her to do what she did and take the food that he did bring there and throw it on the ground. Now you're back to square one. All 4 kids are hungry maybe like Rico said earlier, she would have taken that food in the house and distributed it out between all of the kids and say something like, well, he's still hungry. He had a good heart. He wanted to share with his siblings and everything, and he did that. But now he's still hungry. Can you bring something else? There's so many different ways. But for her to take that in her anger and throw the food on the ground because he didn't do what she wanted him to do or didn't fall in the line like he. What about the other 3 dads? If there's 3 other dads, 2 other dads, whatever. What about them? Are you angry with them as well? Because they have some responsibility with their children being hungry. Captain, talk to me.
Let me throw this out there because I like what everybody's saying. I want to say this to everybody on this line. Let's flip the script. If I'm taking care of child support, she took me to court, and I send a certain amount of money for my child to get him shoes, to get him some school clothes. And I see my son, and he got school, but where's your shoes? Well, mommy took the money you gave me and got Takwa some shoes and Anitha some shoes too. Is it right for her to take the money that he sends for his child and split it among the other 3? It's almost the same thing. Are you going to be mad? Is she right to take his money that he gives to child support and use it to help support the other 3 children? I don't think that was square. I really don't think that was square. But at the same time, these are 2 adults who again use children as weapons to get each other. Who becomes the victims in this? Who get hurt? The children.
Yes.
2 grown adults. She chose to take her personal business and put it on social media. They said that she did this. This wasn't they just happened. No. She wanted to put him on blast. So she chose to take something that was intimate between 2 individuals and let the whole world see it and give everybody an opportunity to lean in on something that both of them are losers. Both of them are losers. They both need to have their butt whipped. They both need to have their behind whipped. Because who lose? The children.
Yes, absolutely.
The children lose. 2 grown parents decide, and she did this. He responded. He gets set up. He said a thing that ain't gonna never be pleasing. Yes, I do believe, and I like my man Toussaint. He made it very clear. All of us know if you any kind of man, it is your moral. Listen to the key word. It is your moral obligation. That's just being a man. But this is a young man that looked like he didn't get the manhood book. He didn't get the man book. But nevertheless, he's being charged by social media because she chose to bring that scenario out. So I just want to say, what would it have been if it was on the other foot? Would she been wrong to take money that he gave her for that child and spend it on her children when it was supposed to be child support for his child? Would she be wrong, or would it have been, well, no, she have to take care of the other children? I think that's something we need to look into.
I can see both sides of that coin. I can definitely see both sides of the coin, but she really, honestly speaking, if the child support is for that particular child, maybe she should be concentrating on that child. But then again, she do have a responsibility to all of her children. So that's a very valid question. Is she wrong in taking that money and spreading it out for all the kids instead of buying one pair of Air Jordans or whatever it is that costs X amount of dollars? She could take that money and spread it out and put shoes on all 4 of her kids' feet. And so yeah, that's a very valid question. Leonard, what do you say to that?
I really support Captain Dennis's point of view on the issue for the very simple fact that if you're going to be a man, you got to be a man. Now, I can tell you it is not good for our culture that these type of relationships continue to happen. That, that's my thing. Well, the child may be, but is they hungry every day, or they just want something to eat, or is she just mad because you brought it, or is it just a bad day or whatever? So all those other details were not presented really. But what you have to focus on is if you're going to steer people in the right way, you got to get them before they get here.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on lots of things. Remember, I made the comment, is he still helping himself?
Mm-hmm.
Is he still helping himself to her?
Mm-hmm.
Every now and then? You never know. You never
Sneaking
know
creeping.
what's going on in these people's houses. But even when I go to somebody's house and look through their house to determine whether or not they should get their kids back, I'm not looking to make sure they got enough food of what I think is best for them.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I'm looking for the basic minimum. Everybody's refrigerators ain't full of food. Like VP said, hold on, that real man gonna say, I got to go get some groceries for the house. But what I'm not gonna do is be in this situation every month.
Mm-hmm.
This will never happen again. Because it's just this repeated cycle, over and over and over. Stand up for yourself. On them nuts you got. And say, I'm gonna make this right. And whoever feelings get hurt don't matter, or anything else. I'm gonna make it right. If she having problems feeding them kids like that, let's hope and pray that he's trying to get custody.
Mm-hmm.
It's not his responsibility, but if he's a man and he's kind, he can make the right step. But he should not want to enslave himself this way. That's my point. Every time you do these and live this way, you give up freedom. So if you can, like say for instance, what if he has this situation with another woman and another woman? What? When is he going to start to do right? How is he going to make it right? How is he going to make it for the best for his child? So those are my concerns. It's not about who's right, who's wrong. If it ain't right, we need to make it right. We see there's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to solve the problem? Because you can solve the hungry in 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Just go back and get them the food. I don't think that's the issue, because that could be solved that way. That's why it's a bigger issue than the kids being hungry today.
Absolutely.
Because are they going to be hungry tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
What about the next day and the next day and the next day? Are you going to keep falling into this foolishness with this female that you don't chose to plant your seed in?
Mm-hmm. Wow. Let's keep this thing going. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
So, when I first listened to the video, I heard her say that she don't get food stamps until the 7th. Then she said don't get food stamps till the 11th.
Mm-hmm.
And then hearing the man's perspective and his view and his opinion and stuff. And I guess I'm kind of like Leonard and Captain Dennis and stuff like that. We don't know the entire situation. If it was me, I'd be going to court. And however, I do acknowledge that even when you go to court, you're not guaranteed to win or get custody. Because there's a lot of situations and a lot of things that could go in her favor versus your favor, especially depending on state.
Mm-hmm.
Because some states view women have more access to the kids than men do. So there's a lot of variables, once again. But to me, what I see is they're living in an area. Where's the community help? Why was it even put on social media? She also made the comment that she's tired of everyone saying that he's a good dad or a good father. So she wants to expose him. So it says it in the video that other people around her are saying that he is a good father. So me hearing all of that is saying that there are people that are observing what's going on. And it seems like they're more interested in making a TikTok video or Instagram or whatever video it was and blasting it which therefore is also going to cause psychological issues and probably even more trauma for those kids. Because both of them need to figure out what is best for the children. And I guess in a lot of ways, I get really sick and tired of talking about things like this, because I know for a fact that no matter where you live, there's always a way to take care of kids. All you have to do is put the effort in. So she ain't doing something right, and he ain't doing something right.
30 seconds.
If those kids are going without food. So the bigger picture, in my view, is the people that are watching, that are posting the videos for her, need to get off their lazy tail end too and go, hey, you know, we know he only brought food for him, but let's go to a food bank or something and get food for all of them. Or something, instead of just sitting there and just watching and doing nothing. There are so many deeper issues with what we're talking about today that I'm like trying not to get up on a soapbox, because I'm so fed up with watching this go down time and time again. And we always just want to blame on the individuals, but we're also a community. I would, even as a bystander, I would have offered.
Okay. All right, let's keep this thing going. We got a couple of callers just called in. I think we have Rosalind. Rosalind, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Rosalind,
how y'all doing?
Hey, doing good. You been listening to us?
I haven't. Oh, I just jumped on. What I'm early for Tuesday and late for Friday.
Yeah, you're late for the day, but early for Monday. Yeah, you're early for Monday now. You super.
Okay, so Monday. Okay.
Yeah, you super early for Monday. But we're talking about that video now. Have you seen the video where the man bought the McDonald's for his son, and the woman threw the food on the ground? Have you seen that video?
You talking about he bought it for one child?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. They're saying that it was staged for them. They do stage videos to get their views up on social media. So they actually went viral. So they actually made a whole lot of money off of it. That's what they're saying now.
Okay, but let's talk about the scenario, the whole scenario surrounding the thing. And that's and it could very well have been staged. But my thing is the scenario. Let's deal with the scenario. In that scenario, who was right and who was wrong?
Well, you have to look at both sides. This is my opinion. You have to look at both sides. Like we wouldn't know if he had enough money to buy all that food. We don't know what his situation was. And then we also have to look at her side. So, I mean, you really can't say who was right, who was wrong. Me being me, if it was me, I would have just bought all the kids if it was me. But, you know, everybody is not like that. But, I mean, you just have to look at both sides. I mean, they were saying something like her hair and nails or something was dead. But you really can't, it's just me, you really can't say who was right, who was wrong. It's in that scenario. But if he was like a real man, I would say he would have bought all the kids something.
Rosalind, let me stop right there for a second. Because I've heard say this. I heard this being said a lot throughout this broadcast. If he was a quote unquote real man, what is that? Because of the fact that he didn't bring all the kids and he bought his son food. They say he bought food every day, and every day he come with one bag. Is he not a real man because he's trying to feed his son and just his son? Does that mean he's not a real man?
Well, no, if it was every day, then that's a different thing. But if it was just occasionally, like, hey, if she called and be like, hey, bring such and such something to eat, and then he just bought everybody, but on an everyday basis, now that's a different story. But if it was just occasionally, then no, I wouldn't be able to do that every day.
Yeah,
but
because
no, occasionally, yes.
Because he said he said in the video, and like I said, we don't know the validity of the video, but he said I bring this food, I bring him food every day. I bring him food every day. And then she said every day you only bring one bag though. You only bring one bag. does that mean because he's only bringing one bag and they say he only have one son, she got 3 other kids, is he not a real man because he's just bringing food for quote unquote his son and not everybody else?
No, I wouldn't bring it every day. No, that doesn't make him that doesn't make him not a man.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I was thinking it was just occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
No, that doesn't make you not make you a man.
Okay. Okay.
Because we don't know his situation.
Exactly. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Cassandra, what do you get out of that video? And like Rosin said, we don't know whether it was staged, and other people have said it was staged and blasé. If it wasn't, let's deal with the scenario itself. Was he right? Was he wrong? Should he have bought food for all the kids every day? And what responsibility do the other fathers have in raising their children?
I don't if it's every day, he should have done something different. I came from a family with multiple fathers, and it's painful when one child, their father may be doing, and then the other ones. Either you do it, I don't know, secretly take your child away from the house and let him eat something, but to bring food and you got 2, 3 other kids sitting there and they don't have it. I know they have fathers. I did all of that, and he's doing what he needs to do just by his child. But it should have been a different way to do that, because I don't know, that whole scenario doesn't sit well with me. I mean, I don't know. I'm really mixed on that, because I know what that's like. Because my father wasn't there, and my siblings, their fathers came occasionally, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sort of split on that. I would do it differently. I would not just bring food for my child and there are other children sitting there that may be hungry or what. No, heck no. I couldn't do it as a human being.
Okay, that's good. We got another caller from the 256 area code. 256 area code. What's your name? Where you calling from? 256, you there?
Okay. Yeah, this is me. This is Rico. I just called from a different phone.
Oh, okay. What's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
I had to get off of this the other one dying.
Oh, okay.
I keep hearing these terms too that you said. If he was a real man, if he was a real man, well, if she was a real woman, what would she have done? Or what should she have done? I want to ask somebody. The way she responded and initiated that, was that conducive to him cooperating with her? Did she respond in a manner that he would say, you know what, you right, I'll cooperate? Or did she say, I want to expose you because everybody thinks you a good daddy? See, we're going to look over that. Oh, well, he could have took him off and fed him in a car. He ain't coming out in that car. They forget they heard that. Then we actually look at the whole video with the intentions of being neutral and then hearing what was going on and saying, wait a minute, what is she saying? What is she saying? He can't come to the car. Some people didn't hear that part, so they saying he should have took him. If she wouldn't let him come outside to eat, she wasn't going to let him go nowhere. You ain't taking your son nowhere. Trust me, I know how that goes. If you can't take all of them to the park, you can't take your son to the park. See, if a mother was a real woman, would they do that? I ain't heard nobody say that yet. If he was a real man, everybody's saying. So that really goes to show you, man, that we don't look at things from the bigger picture. Did she do the best thing she could to get those children fed that was hungry? Their stomach was touching their back at that point in time that all that was going on. Did she do the best thing that she could do to get him to cooperate, being he was the only one that bought some food over there?
Wow, that's good. And see, that's absolutely another question. That's something that we need to deal with. I got somebody else to just get. Brother Pete. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
How y'all doing this morning, DJM radio panel, listening audience with the morning glow?
Hey.
Hope everybody's doing well. I think I'm hearing a conversation about the video with the young lady, the father. Listen. See, this is the problem when the
Uh-oh.
foundations and structure is not in place.
Mm-hmm.
This is the nonsense and the foolishness and the ignorance that you're going to deal with when you don't follow the proper procedures of how things should go, period. And it don't matter what nobody's opinion is on how things are to go. Let's be clear. If you're not in a committed relationship, then you shouldn't be doing committed related activities that produce situations, real lives, that create a whole other world that you have to deal with. And that's everybody's fault. We over here like savages, swapping fluids and jumping in and out of each other's beds and drawers like it's just a normal behavior. It's not. It's heathenism.
Mm-hmm.
You need to get your mind right and get your heart right. You accepting a culture, a behavior, a mindset, a condition that is degenerate and degenerative. And stop making excuses for it. Now, in the midst of the situation where it is today, no, you should not separate none of them children from the other children. You got to pick up and always take the higher ground in the situation because of all the devastation and disruption that exists in these defiled situations. But we need to take our own personal responsibility. You ain't got no business making no babies with nobody that you're not in a committed relationship with. Because if you do, this is the mess you're going to deal with. And you're messing yourself up, and you're more importantly, messing up them children.
Mm-hmm.
Period. You know, you ain't got to be in church. You ain't got to be in a mosque. It's just how it is. You want your woman to be your woman and be my woman too? Mm. You want to sleep with her on Monday and I sleep with her on Tuesday? Huh?
Mm.
No. Don't none of y'all want that.
No.
Don't none of you women want that. So later for accepting the lower, take the higher and continue to establish and stand on the standard of what the truth is saying it ought to be, period.
Mm-hmm.
And stop making excuses. That man should stand up as a man and take the higher ground with them children. That woman should have understood her real value and not had 4 babies with different men that were not in a committed relationship with her to take care of her and them children in a defined, committed structure called family.
30 seconds.
We around here like savages.
Mm-hmm.
And it's your independent responsibility and our collective responsibility. So we want to point out the high ground, but it's a whole lot of slapping upside the head, so to speak, need to be done around here
mm-hmm.
to get this stuff in order.
Ashe.
Tucson, talk to me, Tucson.
No. Yeah, anytime, and every time you don't follow order, you get disorder.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to fix things that's not orderly. And you probably never will because you don't start off right. If you don't start off right, you get dysfunction.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we got. Now, how can you fix it? Well, you got to aim to do the right thing. Not for the public to see. Who gives a rat's tail about my life on social media? They don't care. We don't even know if this is staged. But if it's not, where are the adults in the whole picture that can give a sound advice to resolve? You keep evidently doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You got into a relationship. Okay, the lady evidently, she has some other daddy out there. So now you get another daddy that's not willing to take that responsibility. You with the wrong person. Okay? The man. If you knew you couldn't handle that situation, you should have had enough gall in yourself to say, you know, it's a little bit too much for me. I better, I can't handle no woman with 3 children.
I'm going to tap out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right to tap out.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking stupid anyway.
Don't like to pull out neither.
Lord Jesus.
I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we can go on and on, but it's just disorder. Nobody's saying, okay, I'm looking for a husband, I'm looking for a wife. I'm just trying to get some booty.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And you get dysfunctional.
Wow. Captain, talk to me. Captain, you there? Oh, I think we just lost. Oh, there you go, coming back. Okay, thought we had just lost Captain.
Did you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Yeah. You know, I think everybody, man. I mean, the one brother, he called them savages now. And I mean, that's hitting the nail on the head, man. I appreciate that because we was trying to be very kind in giving our answers, but if we're going to go there, we can go there. I mean, there's no question. You know, Leonard mentioned about the culture. We cannot continue to perpetuate a culture of degradation, a culture of dysfunctioning, a culture of destruction. This is a culture we're talking about. When you look at that young man, and y'all all look at him, ain't nobody coaching him. He's learning how to be a man based upon hanging with his crew. They sitting there getting high on some weed, and he's following what they saying, and that's his rendition of being a man. He's not sitting down with a father who's about. He ain't sitting down with no Leonard. He's not sitting down with no Rico, no Captain D or Badger. I mean, he's not sitting down. He don't know. He just don't know. And even though ignorance of the law is no excuse, she just is worse. She's not sitting down with no Cassandra, no Sister D. She's not sitting down with grown women who say, listen, honey, it don't make sense that you got a baby, you got a daddy for every baby. That does not look good for your moral record. That just don't look good. And to be honest, they call women like that hoes. That's all. So whatever you want to call it, that's what we called it back in the day. But the bottom line is we got to do better. And we most have an obligation to try to change this culture that is painting us as a people in a very destructive, negative way. And I don't care. Ain't none of us going to get away from it. No matter what they do, I look bad. What that young man did, Captain D looked bad. Because why? I could have did more to be able to help young men like him. So I think everybody, you're on it. You're really on it. I think that's getting into the solution. The solution is the moral obligation every one of us have to guide our people under the principles of the law of God. We've got away from it. We got to get back to it. And God forbid, maybe we can stop the next generation. I thank you for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hicks, are you still with us, brother? I think we just lost Hicks. I definitely want to hear his input on this as well. So hopefully we'll get that brother back. VP, talk to me, brother.
Oh, you caught me in my rant with my wife. I'm loving the culture and the savage part because, like I was just saying to her, I think what's being missed, and if we want to break the culture, we break the culture by saying, well, that's just my child. But we're missing that. Yeah, but missing that, he decided to still sleep with a woman that had 3 kids. And at some point, he decided in his brain that now he's the head of the household, but then left the house. But then want to come back with McDonald's every day like he's the head of the household. No, that's her house now. And you're trying to choose how you're going to be a part of that life that you left behind. That's why I'm saying the man is responsible. The woman, she has her part, but we don't know anything about the other guys. They could be in jail. That's why they don't bring nothing. And if he has a revelation that they're in jail and he still wants to only bring one bag of food, and like I was saying to her, maybe she's exposing him because he's doing it every day, and they're saying, oh, that man brings McDonald's every day. Which, depending on what part of town you live in, that's a treasure trove. But if he's bringing a bag and dropping it off and leaving, they be like, oh, he bringing food for all 3 of them kids, but it's only 1 sandwich and 1 fry in there. So maybe the exposure part was her dumping the food on the ground to show, hey, he ain't really feeding all these kids. He is a good father because he is thinking about who his thing. or he's a good dad because he's thinking about his kid, but he's not a good father in the sense of what is supposed to be the establishment of this foundation that we're now finally getting into. And that's why the money part, it shouldn't matter because you don't have anything to say. That's why I say quantum, it doesn't matter. If he wants to spend $35 a week on McDonald's, $35 he could just give her so he don't have this headache because you don't run nothing in that house. You don't run anything in that house because you chose to give it up when you walked out of that house with her and them kids.
And see,
without that.
Okay. We don't know if he walked out. We don't know if he walked out, BP. Hold on now. She could have put him out.
Because when he decided to sleep with that woman, not married, when he decided to sleep with that woman, not married, with a commitment to ensure that it was something there, then
let me say this. VP, VP, let me say this right here. And what keeps coming to my mind when you say what you're saying. And I'm not, everybody got their opinion. I'm not here to get anybody their opinion. That's why it's what's on your heart. But my thing, like, what comes to me when you say that the lady that was taken before Jesus for adultery, you keep saying he decided to lay with this woman. Well, she also decided to lay with him. You can't make it one-sided. They both made a decision to do adult activities, and because of the fact that they both listen to me, brother. Listen to me, brother.
Who's the head of the
Rico, hold on. You gotta listen to me, brother. You gotta listen to me. My thing is this. Now we're talking something totally different. Now you're talking about responsibility, head of the household. We're talking about the laying down part. That's the part I'm talking about. The laying down part. You say when he decided to lay down with her. Well, at that when he decided to lay down with her, unless he was forcing himself on her, she also decided to lay down with him. And so we can't just look at one side of the coin and say, man, you decided to lay down with this, whether you blah 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 blah. Yeah, all that's fine. But at the same time, she also decided with 3 kids to lay down with this man and produce another kid. And so we got to keep we got to keep this thing.
Wait, Raheem. So in that scenario with the woman of adultery that was supposed to be told on to test Jesus, was she pregnant?
Brother, I was just using that as an example. Let's talk. My thing is whether it work or not, it was an example that I chose to use.
He left the house with a pregnant woman. He left a child behind. He didn't leave just a spread leg behind.
But brother, you put all the onus on him. She has a responsibility as well. She knew she had 3 kids already. She had responsibility for her household. VP, brother. I can't let you talk over me. VP. Can't let you talk over me, brother. We can't do that. That's not what we're gonna do. So hold on, brother. VP.
What I'm trying to say. VP. I'm not saying she's not in no responsibility.
VP, are you listening to anything I'm saying, brother? VP. I had to mute you, brother, because I cannot allow you to talk over me. We're not gonna do that. That's not what we're gonna do. My thing is this right here. What I'm talking to you about is this. You saying that you put all the responsibility on him. You're saying that he decided to lay down with her. Yes, I can grant you that. But at the same time, I also have to look at both sides of the coin and say that she had 3 kids at that time. She also decided to lay down with him and produce another child. You can't say that he did. She got responsibility too. You can't just put all the onus on one person. Rather, the reference that I used about the lady at the well and stuff like that, that was just a reference, brother. We talking about this situation right here. Go ahead.
All in all, we don't know if he got other kids other places because it's just pictured on what she put out there. But he knew because she did say that they had a standing relationship for a period of time. So even if it was a one-night stand, he still showed up for a period of time, knowing that she had 3 kids. So the greater burden is on him in terms of, am I going to be with her unprotected, knowing she has 3 kids already? Maybe I am exposed enough of that relationship to know whether or not it was one dad, multiple dads, if the dad's alive, if the dad's dead. He still chose unprotected, although she received him, that she already had 3. She came with 3 kids. So he inserted himself in that situation and into her, knowing the possibility of producing another one, already having the proof and facts in front of him that she has 3 already.
Okay.
So now that you're out the picture,
Mhm.
now that whatever fell apart in the relationship and you're out the picture as far as being actively inside the household, you do carry, unfortunately, last man standing, you carry a different type of weight or responsibility towards those kids that you've established a relationship with.
Why should he have more responsibility than the one that produced the first child?
That's
Why
not
should
to say that he has to do everything every day, but
no.
from that
Listen,
standpoint,
Friday. Listen,
for the
listen,
food
Friday.
situation,
Friday. Listen to my question. Sis. Why should he have more responsibility than the person that produced the first child or the person that produced the second child? Why should he have more responsibility? Because the children were there when he came, and she don't have any responsibility.
yes,
She
and
know.
not
She
that
know.
we don't
She
know
know.
if this
But
man was
Friday.
dead or alive or more than one.
But Friday, she knew. She too knew. And we got to move on to somebody else because we could do another show on this right here, and we probably will. But my thing is this right here. She also knew that she had 3 kids when she decided to lay down with him. She knew she had 3 kids. The kids didn't disappear. They were still there. The kids didn't go away. They were still there. And so we can't say that all the responsibility lies on him because he knew she had 3 kids. She knew she had 3 kids too. She pushed them out. She knew she had 3 kids. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
I don't know. I think the morality of all of this is the most important thing. I guess that's where we're going with this now. Responsibility and accountability. And you just talking about a group of people nowadays that there are no boundaries, no moral compass. Everybody just acting like a bunch of bunny rabbits producing all over everywhere. And it's both people's.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I'm concerned, it's both of their fault.
Mm-hmm.
It's both of their fault. She set up the scenario, and he, as far as I'm concerned, it's lack of him to bring food for just one child when he knows that they're. I don't care. I don't care what the situation is. That is wrong. To just bring food for one child when you know there are other children in the home. Who does that? I mean, I wouldn't. I would prefer for him not to even bring anything than to do that. Where's the moral basis for that?
Cassandra, before we get out of here, we got something going on very close. Is it this weekend or next weekend?
July the 17th.
Mm-hmm.
The Trinity Vision Award will be held in Atlanta, honoring women from 4 different states, and our very own Rosalind, will be honored in Atlanta. She's one of the women that will be honored. 24 women are being honored from around South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, and wherever Rosalind is from. We're honoring those women that have been empowering other women in their communities. So I just wanted to bring that out, that she is one of the honorees.
Absolutely. Congratulations, Rosalind.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
That's all you're gonna say. Thank y'all. You look all clapping out. That's how you look all clapping all this stuff.
I always get emotional every time I look at it or she says it. I always get emotional.
Okay, that's good. And again, congratulations, sister. Very well deserved. You deserve all the accolades that you get, and we're very proud of you. And we're gonna come out and support you. We're gonna come out there and thump you. We're gonna come out. Watch this. We're gonna come out there and thump you in the throat. Then we're gonna go home. Anybody have anything else they want to say on this particular topic? We're running out of time.
I do.
Go ahead.
Raheem.
Yes.
Go ahead. Gotcha.
I mentioned earlier, the responsibility on both parties. And I really don't care if she doesn't like him and he doesn't like her. The fact of the matter is, they made a decision to lay in the same bed, couch, car, whatever they decided to do it in or on. Added to, it ended up creating another child, which therefore led to where the video became. And to me, it doesn't matter if it's fake or not. because that situation happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to put more blame on one or the other is really a boiling down factor of, you know, is he doing the best he can?
Mm-hmm.
Is she doing the best that she can? Why is she out of food stamps? Why is she trying to show that he's a bad father? And so on and so on. Like, there's so many variables. And then all the stuff that Rico brought up, which is one of the things I brought up earlier. You know, so it's, to me, bickering over if man or woman, it's going to boil down to perspective, boil down to belief. You know, if man's head of the household, you know, yeah, he should be trying to look out for all those kids. Because part of our responsibility as being protectors is doing everything we can for kids, trying to
Mm-hmm.
get help and support and uplift the women, and so on and so on. Yet, just as there are toxic men out there that choose to be toxic, there's also toxic women that choose to be toxic.
Mm-hmm.
So, without knowing the entire situation, are they seeking therapy? Are they seeking help? Are they actually, you know, going out to food banks and everything else that's fully accessible to them?
Mm-hmm.
We don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So, but what we do know is, fake or not, this lady put a video up, said all the things that she said. He said all the things that he said. It was handed to somebody else, and now it's got over 20 million views. Now we're talking about it on a radio show. Certain news places are talking about it. Reddit's on it. They're getting all these views, and probably somebody's donating money to her, donating money to him, and things like that. They're getting a whole bunch of money over making a video
Mm-hmm.
that essentially boils down to, is it fake or is it not? So it drives me insane, the fact of, why are we putting so much energy into this video stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Because it always boils down to, what is the mental health of the woman? What is the mental health of the man? And based on a normalized ideology of almost every religion, is the
What
man
happened
being
to
the
the man?
protector and the provider.
Mm-hmm.
Is the
Okay.
woman being the provider and making sure the kids are taken care of? From what I'm seeing, that's questionable.
Okay. Good deal. Anybody? Somebody else that wanted to say something? Somebody else had something on their heart.
Yeah, that was me, Raheem. I
Okay.
just wanted to say earlier, we were talking about who responsibility is, and this is what
Mm-hmm.
you got to think about. Our egg is nothing without a man's seed. And a man has to look at a situation before he decides to lay down with any woman, because at the end of the day, it is his responsibility to say no. Because if you
Wow.
find out, you got this girl, you find out that she was 16 and you was 21, and even though she made the decision to sleep with you, you didn't know she was 16, you going to jail. So you got to look at the situation before you get into any sexual situation, knowing that the outcome, just like a football player, a basketball player, same thing. I got more to lose. I'm not going to sleep with you. So that's what I think VP was trying to say. You know, even though she had 4 kids and she chose to say, okay, I want to sleep with you too. He knew she had 4 kids. He couldn't do nothing without her. That's all I wanted
Wow.
to say. That was on my heart. Right?
But see, that opens up so much right there, because, like I say, two consenting adults. I'm not talking about like in a situation like that. Two consenting adults, they both have to, be mindful, and they both have to, take responsibility. It's real hard for me to put the responsibility on just one side and not deal with the other. That's and I used this example earlier before about the lady that was brought before Jesus for adultery. He said, "Where are your accusers? Where are your accusers?" Because Jesus had knelt down, written something in the sand, and what he wrote down in the sand was probably, to me, I think he was probably writing their sins. And every time he wrote their sins in the sand, they said, "Oh Lord, he got me. Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. Gotta go, gotta go." And then, and he, after all that stuff was done, everybody was gone. He said, "Where are your accusers? Where are your accusers?" There weren't not any, but you cannot bring her before the court, if you will. I'm just saying the court, and not bring the one that she's supposed to have committed the crime with. That doesn't sit well with me. Anybody else have anything before we get out of here?
I'm just gonna
Yeah, I
sum
got
it up
some, man.
like this.
Go ahead.
Let me say this. You can't go wrong doing right.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you have to add right to what you're doing, that's confirmation that you're already wrong.
Mhm.
And
Come
what
on.
we hear is a lot of excuses for irresponsibility.
Mhm.
That's what we keep hearing.
Mhm.
That's what we keep hearing.
Come on.
It's just a whole lot of excuses for irresponsibility. There is a set standard. See, we have accepted that we can acclimate and engage each other outside of the context of what it's for. It's
Mhm.
for pleasure and it's for reproduction. In what context, though?
Mhm.
In what context? The whole village just gonna do it with everybody and have an exploding population? No, it has to be structure to it.
Mhm.
And we keep deviating from the structure and then trying to put structure to a chaotic situation and justify the wrong and figure out how we can decide what's right and wrong in the midst of complete wrong. Period.
Mm.
We got to
Wow.
change. We have to do better. Your way is not right. There's a standard, and you got to hold to it. And it's whether you believe it's from God, Allah, Confucius, Buddha, or whomever, Ali, whatever. The point is, it's a standard. And if you're not holding to the standard, then this is the foolishness and the ignorance and the outright defilement that you're going to be in the midst of outside of the structure. Period.
Wow.
So either be responsible or deal with the chaos that you signed up for.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Somebody else has something to say?
Hey,
Yeah, man, right here.
Yes.
I get what everybody is saying.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I heard you. Uh-huh.
I get what everybody is saying. And the thing is this responsibility on both sides because the situation is this.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them laid down with each other.
Yep.
Both of them made a decision. And now they are where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, we have the issue of the fact that after we are done chastising and correcting people and telling them where they made their mistakes at and well, you wrong for doing this and you wrong for doing that, how do we address the fact of the lack of respect, cooperation, and communication to get them children bellies fed?
Mm-hmm.
See, like Badger said, you know what, man, I don't see why we get so worked up because it may be staged.
Mm-hmm.
But see, the thing is this really exists in a lot of atmospheres.
Yep.
Where people have made these mistakes, and it's too late for them to hear pointing the finger. But that's what we've been doing the whole broadcast. And I keep trying to come back to, okay, with everything being said and everybody recognize that this is a dysfunctional relationship. We done heard her say everything she done had to say. We done heard him say what he had to say. But you know what? I think I could have reasoned with him if I had been in that atmosphere to go get that food.
Mm-hmm.
How? By talking respectfully and communicating with him to try to get him to cooperate and using some reason and logic and not coming at him,
Mm-hmm.
not with intentions of, I'm going to make you look bad. I'm tired of everybody saying you're a good daddy. I want to make sure I document this situation so I can manipulate and make a narrative. While my children hungry, I'm going to use my children's belly touching their back as a tactic or as a tool to get my narrative across.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was a child that ever grew up in this situation, or a child sitting back looking at this, and I saw two people going back and forth, and then people coming from the outside looking in and saying, no, man, you wrong. No, you wrong. I'm going to be thinking to myself, who going to solve this situation so somebody can communicate? Who going to tell my mama, you should have put that food on the ground? Come on, let me show you how to split that up.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You're breaking up, Rico.
We still got to ask ourselves,
mm-hmm.
was that cooperation and that communication conducive or I'm going to say, an instant to get those children fed?
Exactly.
After you chastise everybody,
mm-hmm.
what was done to get those children
fed? Hey, you're going out on something going on with your phone there, Rico. Something going on with your phone.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're going in and out though. It's going real low. Go ahead.
I wonder, can anybody think of one time they said something that woman or another woman in that situation can say to make that situation better?
Absolutely.
Because ain't nobody checked her about the way she communicates.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Raheem.
Yeah, go ahead. Somebody else want to say something?
Yeah, I was getting ready to go. I didn't know how much longer you was going to be on.
No, we're going to get out of here in about 2 minutes.
I was going to say, great show, man. Appreciate everybody. And people use the Bible so misplaced.
Mm-hmm.
Genesis, and unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of. Cursed is the ground for thy sake, and sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of your life. Thorns and thistles shall bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. Don't allow your emotions to override your intelligence.
Exactly.
Young men who have not gotten into this situation, don't go there. Don't wait. Don't count on somebody weighing who is more responsible, because once Allah has weighed it, he's not going to ask you about what she did. She's going to ask you about what you did. And you're going to have to hold account for what you did. Not what she did with you, what you did.
Good
so
deal.
Take that commandment seriously. Avoid things if you can. That's the whole point of being intelligent, is to be able to avoid these types of situations.
Somewhere I read where it says a wise man sees trouble from afar and he avoids it. Somewhere I read.
My elders did me good today. Boy,
Huh?
I love my elders brought it today.
Yes, sir.
Captain
Yes, sir.
Dennis, Toussaint, thank y'all.
Good deal.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, Captain.
I enjoy the show as well, Raheem, and everyone. Everyone have a blessed weekend, and I look forward to the show next week.
Good deal. Looking forward to having you with us as well. Definitely looking forward to having you with us. Captain, anything on your heart before we get out of here?
Man, I enjoy everyone. Thank you, Professor Leonard. That means a lot to get those cold news from you, my brother. I really mean that. And I mean, I'm telling you, I have great admiration. Rico, you bad boy. Toussaint, you bad boy. Badger, you bad boy. Curtis, I don't know what happened to Charles. Y'all done ran Charles off the airway. What's up with Charles, man? We need a Charles.
Charles.
Rosalind.
We got Rosalind, Cassandra, Sister T, all of y'all, man. Y'all, listen, I could be biased. I don't think nobody got a show like this. I mean, because of the lineup of the diverse, brilliant minds. I just don't, I've been on a lot of talk shows. I don't think nobody go to the depths of where we go. But I want to say this to VP. I think it was VP. You know, we can't make a boy a man. So we have to call him a boy. He's not a man. If he was a man, he would have did a man thing. And all males are not men, but all men are males. So we just had to call it the way it is. He was a boy. And sad as it may be, there's a lot of them out there that think they're men. They really are. But I know who the man is. The men, we got men on this line. These are the men. Raheem, you bad boy too. Thank y'all so much for honoring me. Y'all have a nice weekend, and man, keep your head on the swivel and watch out for Brother Fu and Sister Fu.
There you go. Good deal. Cassandra.
Yes, no, I don't have anything to say. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else have anything to say? Curtis, you ain't said nothing in a minute, brother. Where you at? Curtis, where you at?
I'm right here, baby. I'm right here.
What's on your heart?
In my car.
Give me something real quick so we can get on out of here.
All I'm gonna say is, at the end of the day, bro, I think we kind of can get lost in the redemptive quality of what that brother did. We caught up in what he didn't do. Brady, we don't know everything. We don't know the dynamics and what was going on there, how it was going on there. I'm glad the brother brought his son. I don't have much else out of that to say, bro. I mean, I'm not saying he was right, he was wrong, but I'm glad the brother brought his son some food. A bunch of kids out there, they daddy maybe this
Well, wow, good deal. Well, listen, we're going to get out of here. As a matter of fact, it's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Rico, what's going on at 3 o'clock today, sir?
If you missed today's broadcast and would like to see or get a rebroadcast in its entirety, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at www.dkmmediagroup.com.
Good.
But one more thing.
Uh-oh.
If If we walked up on that situation and we sat here for 3 hours and said everything that we said, would those children still be hungry right now, waiting on us to get finished?
I would have fed them. I'd have fed them. I'd have bought some food, brother. You know that. I'd have made sure they took the food or ordered the pizza or something. Send something into the house. I'd have sent something.
I think that's the biggest point of this whole conversation. We did good the children food.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'd have ordered a pizza. I like Marco's pizza. Y'all might not like Marco. Y'all don't. I'm doing Marco's. Y'all got to pay me for this commercial I'm giving y'all. But y'all got some good pizza. Marco's got some good pizza.
It ain't good cold. It ain't good cold.
I don't need it cold. But that and the wings, they Marco's. They
don't call Marco's and get you a pizza, man.
I'm gonna get me one. I'm gonna leave when I get home. I'm going to get me a pizza, and I'm gonna get some of the wings because they bake
like Mary in a minute. But do you like Mary in a minute?
Do the commercial for me?
You better.
Willow.
Raheem, are you ready?
Are you ready? Willow, are you ready?
I am so ready. I've been walking. I done got a lot of energy. I am ready to go.
Well, Willow,
are you ready?
Willow, you know what? Willow, you know what? Let's go.
What? Let's go. Father God in heaven, Lord, we just thank you. We thank you this morning for allowing us to get up, allowing us to talk to one another on one accord. Father, you said that where there are two or more gathered in your name, you said you will be in the midst. Father, I thank you so much for what you provide for us each and every day, oh Lord. Father, I thank you for your word that gives us power. I thank you, Lord, for the Holy Spirit that keeps us. I thank you, Lord, for everything that you do in our lives. I'm asking you, oh Lord, to touch Miss Cassandra's event, oh Lord. Make it a successful event, oh Lord. Touch each and every last one that's on this line. Father, I'm asking you to increase things in their lives. Keep Raheem safe. Keep this show successful. I thank you, Lord, for all you do. I give you honor, glory in Jesus' name. Amen, amen. Thank you, Lord.
We got to get you to walking every day. You put a little something extra in that one down. You put a little. We got to get you out there walking there every day. Not something, but every day. Leonard,
what, Mr. Raheem?
Anything on your heart before we get out of here, bro?
Amen, Willow.
There you go.
Amen wouldn't just pray for you; she teach you how to pray.
That's right. Let me see who else I got here. Let me go. Pete, give me a word of wisdom to get for the weekend, brother. Give me a word of wisdom, Pete. Give me a word of wisdom. Pete, wake up and go to sleep. Wake up and go to sleep.
Don't drink and drive.
There you go. That's it. VP.
Ryan, you trying to get some breakfast on Saturday?
Some breakfast?
Yeah, you gonna be in Atlanta? You gonna be in town?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, I'll hit you up.
Call me, man. Let's do it. I'm looking for you.
Okay.
All right, my man.
All right,
everybody. This has been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your day. It is now, what time is it? Let me see the clock. 10:17. It is 10:18 now. I want to thank you all for joining us. Let me see. There you go. Okay. Now, Bill, I want you to do me two favors before we got to mess my whole thing up. Lord Jesus, I'm trying to multitask. I got phone ringing and all kind of things. People know. Listen, if anybody's calling me right now, if you listen, you should be listening to the broadcast. But if not, I don't get off until sometime after 10. So you cannot call me right now. I can't answer. I'll call you back. Okay, now, what time is it? 10:08. Y'all have a great weekend. Love you. Take care of each other and be blessed.